count the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game. 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnop.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vine, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Hey, good morning. How are you? Happy Tuesday, rainy Tuesday. As we trudge along here for the long work week. Hope you're well. Hit us up on the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. I'm sure peeps will be jumping in shortly, or on the Professional Door Incorporated text line 540-391-0788. Marva in Miami today. Brian Seagler from the Boundary Corner podcast will join us. David Smith, and then Mike Burnop. And we'll recap the win on Saturday down in Raleigh. And we'll do all sorts of other things. Baseball playoffs get underway today. It's always a very exciting time. Get through the 162-game schedule. Beloved Pods play the Cubbies today at 3. Probably not going to go well. So we have a lot going on as we enter day number 2 of the week. One thing I've noticed, and you probably – it's been subtle. I've been looking. You notice since Tech won the game, you're not seeing all these things pop up about a coaching search from all these sites. Just saying. So I put my post up on the show Facebook page after the game, and I put on there, hey, just cancel the committee. Go ahead and just consider and go ahead and name Phil Montgomery permanent head coach. And, it got a lot of pushback, a lot of people, but it also had a lot of people who agreed. Post had over 300 and some likes on it and got shared by hundreds of people. So it's got like tens of thousands of views. But I'm wondering now if people are starting to sit back and they're going to wait this weekend, which I think they'll win again at home. And it'll be a sold-out crowd against Wake. So that'll be 3 straight wins if that happens. And then after that, your argument against it's going to become a little tougher. So Phil Montgomery could end up being the bird in the hand that takes a lot of the pressure off Virginia Tech going forward in terms of the football program. We'll see. Where I think it will become an obvious question will be if they win next week or this week and then win at Georgia Tech and then come at me with your arguments. But anyway, he's done a great job keeping it organized. We can talk about it. It's a fun discussion. Never get angry over sports disagreements. It's just fun. That's what it's all about. I hope this show is kind of like being around the water cooler for you. That's what I want. I value what everybody has to say. So we just have fun. That's what we do. And that's what we do with our guests here today. Ryan Steinspring tomorrow, by the way, of the 3-0 Roanoke College Maroons. Got a big game coming up this weekend, so we'll have Steiny on tomorrow. So that'll be fun. So what's on your mind? It was interesting, and by the way, many of you, like I said, I love it when you hit me up throughout the day on the Professional Door text line. And I brought up something that I think is true. I said that the quality of college football across the board, in lieu of all the problems that we were expecting, and there are a myriad of problems, but we're just talking about on-field product on Saturdays. The portal, the NIL, and the way things have kind of even out. The quality of playing college football is really good right now. I think it's really good. I think the games are better. I think the officials, it's still not great, but it's gotten better. They're letting teams play a little more. A lot closer games. Teams that you wouldn't think had a shot go out and they put together a good effort. They're able to compete. Virginia Tech being an example. It's happening all over the place. Teams from Group of 5 leagues are hanging in there against Power 4s a lot later in games. And then the Power 4 games are terrific. Georgia, Alabama, and, Penn State and Oregon, just to name a few. Just outstanding football game. And this is kind of a very positive and unexpected development, at least for me. And not unexpected that the games are good. Because, they're good football players. They're good athletes. But it's happened pretty quickly, it feels like. But I'm really enjoying college games. And I'm guessing most of you do. On the other side of it, the NFL product is bad. It's a bad game. The league is taking a lot of things for granted with its fans. First of all, they've drawn their line in the sand politically with the naming of this, whatever the hell he is, Bad Bunny for the halftime show, who has come right out and said he hated and wanted people to be dead that didn't agree with him politically. And yet the NFL gladly says, hey, here's your $7 check. Come be our halftime guest, our performer. Who's that going to relate to? The culture of the NFL has gone the way of the NBA very quickly. It's heading that way. And then I hope one of the reasons you listen to the show is because you enjoy it. We're entertaining. We're all together on this. But I think kind of know what the hell I'm talking about a little bit. And I said this, and then Troy Aikman last night during my Broncos game. Broncos game last night had 18 or 19 accepted penalties, 27 flags thrown. And Troy Aikman got he just said, this is a horrible product. He said, what are we doing in this league? I'm surprised people, he said this on the air as the lead analyst for ABC/ESPN. We're lucky people hang around and watch this game every week. It's cookie cutter. I don't enjoy most NFL games anymore. It's just a slog. Officiating is one. It's over officiated. He was highlighting a screen. It was a screen pass, and they threw an illegal man downfield. And when you show it again, the guy had like this much of his toe. It's tough for those big linemen to wait, and hold when to release. And instead of there being any kind of leeway, it looked like his toe was that far. And they're just looking for anything, and it just slows the game down. And the game is sloppy. Certain guys have risen to the level of quarterback play, but I think overall quarterback play in the league is not great. I think the NFL has gotten to the point that its arrogance is going to end up being, you won't say it's downfall because they still get rated and you're still going to watch, but they're not going to expand and be as successful as they think they are. Roger Goodell he's not brain dead. He just doesn't care because he's making $66 million a year. But they're not shy about being bold about their politics, about their biases, and it's going to come back to hurt them just like it did other brands. And I don't understand these companies, they're in business telling, half your customers that you don't want them watching. I don't understand that. I'll never understand why politics is so prominent to where we do things like this. I don't understand. Yeah, Frankie, as we get started in our McClellan Chiropractic chat room, great sports weekend for me. Miami versus FSU, and Phillies open up for what I hope is a special run toward the World Series. Well, Phillies are Phillies played pretty well down the stretch, man. I wouldn't be surprised to see them make a run. Feels like the Dodgers aren't going to be that team this year. I feel like the Phillies, and unfortunately for me, the Cubs, because I think they're going to make short work of my Padres. The Brewers are really good. I think somebody like that could be the National League representative. So you might be onto something, Frankie. Prometheus, the NFL has turned into a 10-yard out pattern. Yeah. It's very predictable and boring. Boring is a great word. There you go. You said it better than I did, Prometheus. It's boring. It's boring. Receivers catch the ball. They get down. Terrible football. Everybody's so concerned about making a play on defense because of the flags. Boring is a good word. You just sit there and you're just like, okay. Oh, look. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I hope, well, yeah, I'd love to see us play the Phillies, Frankie, but we probably wouldn't have much for you. Padres don't have enough pitching. You know, they're getting Michael King back, but he's not ready to pitch in the series. They just don't have enough pitching. Anthony, good morning. Yeah, Virginia and Louisville. That's going to be fun. See, that's going to be fun. Virginia on the uptick after their big win. 4-1. And that's a good test for them. Absolutely. They're very capable of going down there and winning that game. JMU was playing Louisville off their feet until we had Matt Rohn on yesterday. By the way, what great conversations did we have yesterday with Phil Amatian and Matt Rohn? How good was that? Phil Amatian is just, it's like listening to Coach Rag, except at the collegiate level. And he has confirmed, by the way, he's going to be a rotating guest here on the program. So I'm looking very forward to that. But, yeah, JMU played Louisville off their feet. Louisville fell behind early this weekend at Pitt, rallied. Now, to their credit, they rallied and they got the win. That's big on the road. Down, 17? So Virginia has a shot. If they can get some stops defensively, well, yeah, why not? Huge game. And now everybody's excited about Tech again. How one win just changes everything. It's all everybody was talking about yesterday. I worked down at Radford with a lot of people that have season tickets to Tech. And, everybody's just buzzing. Did you see that coming? Blah, blah. I said, well, I wasn't really surprised. I wasn't hugely surprised because we said on the show, I didn't think, NC State was very good. They're not a good defensive team in any way, shape, or form. But Tech played very, very well. And I like everything I've seen from Philip Montgomery and his organizational skills. I mean, and it's fine. I didn't have any problem with people telling me I was nuts, people telling me I was premature in what I said. But I'm just saying there's not a lot of guys in the country that could just be there and quickly organize things, knowing there's going to be an excess of players, go with the guys he knows he can count on, and have that team turn around right now, at least on the field, the 8 quarters since the firing of Brent Pry, and go 2-0 and look like they have guys still bought in. I think he's done just one hell of a job. And I don't know how many other coaches that you could plug in that would do that. Yeah, I didn't take the time to watch Happy Gilmore 2. I knew that would be an atrocity. He was in that. Why? John says, yeah, ask Frankie how those black uniform. Oh, my God. That's another thing, too. The NFL has no bearing on their tradition. They don't have any kind of respect for anything that came before the current regime. Utterly unnecessary. They looked horrible, stupid. What did that do? Did anybody? I mean, I can't wait to see the numbers on the sale. Are people going to run out? I'm sure there will be people. People are going to run out and I got to have my black Dolphins jersey. Would you rather have that, or would you rather have that classic agua marine? Dolphins have a great helmet. They have great colors. They have some of the best original uniforms in the history of the NFL. The Dolphins started in 1970, and those uniforms immediately, boom, you just saw them. You knew that was Bob Greasy, Larry Zonka, and Mercury Morris. You knew that was the Dolphins. And then they go out and completely look like just a college team on a bad promotional night. Broncos, wearing all blue. God. There's nothing. It's just ridiculous. They're horrible. And the Broncos throwbacks. Everybody wants them back. They brought them back last year for 2 games. I think they're back for 2 games again this year. Everybody wants them back. They would sell Tons of merch. Nah. If Virginia doesn't win the Commonwealth Cup this year, they might as well retire the trophy. Yeah, good point. Jimmy says he and his dad were watching a game, looked like a 5-year-old drew the colors on a coloring book. Yeah. Morris, how you doing? Palm Coast, right, Morris? From Hurricane Brush, Palm Coast. Good morning, NFL and Bud Light. If you are so brain dead, you don't know who your target market is, God help you. Yeah, the NFL has, I think, kind of forgotten its target audience, what's made it the number one king in the history of professional sports. It's going to find out. Even the NFL is not immune. And I think more than anything else, the product on the field is really bad. Nothing excites me when I sit down and watch an NFL game anymore. I mean, I sat down last night. I didn't even make it through the first series of the Broncos game because I was tired for one. And I was like, well, I'll just get the score in the morning. And I've never felt that way. I've been a Broncos lifer I've been a Broncos fan, chose them when I was 5 years old. And I used to get so excited, so pumped up when they would be on national TV. You know how easy it was for me last night to go, all right, click. And I knew I wasn't going to miss anything. They win. It's great. I'll watch the highlights at some point today. But I just found myself not invested. You know who is invested, and you should be as well? Family Fencing and Jason Green. They sponsor our studios here in Reiner. They are terrific. Jason's a great guy. You get great customer service, fencing of any kind. 540-200-8294 at familyfencingnrv.com. Give them a call. A lot of people have, and they do it right. It's the kind of thing I'd like to watch them put up fencing. That'd be kind of cool to watch them come and do the process. Mark Hunley, McClellan Chiropractic, jump in the chat room. Thank you, Marco. Good stuff. We'll be talking about Louise Baker later in this program as she's sponsoring Mike Burnop's appearance. Every day, this program brought to you by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. I'm going to reach out to Jonathan Sweet. I think he's going to join us, and you're going to get fired up. Wait till you hear that guy talk about the plans of Pulaski County. It can happen anywhere, by the way, in our community here in the NRV, what they're doing there. It's amazing. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg. Charles Lee and Company saw the vans yesterday. I'm going to lunch, seeing the vans heading out with equipment, getting jobs. Yes, sir. That's what it's all about. Thanks to the attorney, Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford. And I think I simplified the BDST fan question of the week. Are you in favor if Tech ends up in a bowl? If they end up with 6 wins or more, are you in favor of Philip Montgomery having the interim tag stripped and naming him the permanent head coach? That's going to be our BDST fan question of the week. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner, BDST, 35 years. Great stuff. Thanks, Larry Ramsey. And Travis Williams, Professional Door Incorporated, residential commercial garage doors, 38 years in business, right across from New River Community College, Route 100. Family owned and operated. Dad's a great guy. Travis is a great, great guy. Sponsor of our text line that never stops getting attention. And Harvey's GM in Radford. Thanks to Brad Harvey supporting the program. I bought my last 3 vehicles from Harvey's. There's nobody I trust more. And if you get stressed out about it, you won't any longer. If you just call them, tell them you heard us talking about it. Always looking for a new car. Maybe your teenager needs a ride. Telling you, man, they do anything they can to make sure they put you in what you're looking for. Go see Brad. You already know Brad. Community oriented, dedicated. Okie Bob, which NFL teams are featuring mauve and seafoam green jerseys? Good morning, Steve. Go Yellow Jackets. Chris says, hey, good morning, big dog. Good morning, Chris. How are you? I think Cracker Barrel should change the colors to seafoam. Yeah, that didn't last long, did it? That crazy marketing director decided that didn't go. What did that go? 2 weeks? Their market value fell by what? What did I see? How many billions did their market value fall, or hundreds of millions? When they were going to rebrand the Crackle Barrel and get rid of the classic logo and just put Crackle Barrel and they were going to get rid of the country store and put like clothes in there. And there were people who signed off on this all because of reasons. And then they all had to make the announcement, hey, psych, sorry. NFL may end up doing that in the long run too. But I think they have their head in the sand so much they don't understand how bad their product is. Or, you know what? I think they understand. They just don't care because they're still making money hand over fist and people are watching. When that stops and you have this moronic commissioner going around 2 days ago saying, yeah, I fully expect the Super Bowl to be played in a different country, slap in the face. All of us here in America should be offended by that. It'd be like, what's the number one professional soccer league? The EPL, the English Premier League? Can you imagine them? They don't have a championship match, which is really stupid, by the way. They just have whoever has the most points at the end. Like they should have like a playoff. It would be awesome. But let's say they did have a playoff. Can you imagine them taking it out of those English countries and bring it over here to Florida? They would never consider that. But you know what the EPL and all the international soccer gets right, and this is the other part of the NFL that they're going to have to address because now you have players on it again. We've already had, I saw 12 to 14 torn ACLs and serious injuries in every one of them on this god-awful turf. Now, there's been others that have happened on grass, but the majority is happening on this turf. Malik Neighbors, a terrific young wide receiver for the Giants. They're saying his leg's torn up so bad, he's never going to be the same. He got hurt just on a cut Sunday against the Chargers. The NFL, a multi-billion-dollar industry. All those soccer leagues play on this beautiful grass. It's just when you watch whomever play in soccer, you just see this gorgeous green field, and they're playing on grass because they understand that it's better for the players. A lot of running, a lot of cutting, a lot of contact in soccer, and they play on beautiful grass. If they can pull that off in all these professional international soccer leagues, then you think the NFL could pull that off too. I think there's enough money to go around to put grass in all the stadiums. This turf is not working. You can't play football on this turf. Now, other sports, whatever. I don't like it personally. I'm a grass guy. I understand it's easier to take care of. But in the long run, is it going to be worth it if we continue to pile up all these injuries? And it's directly because of the way that underneath the turf is structured, and it's not balanced correctly. And the NFL just looks the other way. All this stuff about protection of its players. You think the players should be more angry, right? The Thursday night game crap, adding a game to the regular season. They're going to add another one. It's going to end up being 18 games because playing 17 is really stupid. It's an uneven – there's the only professional sport that has an uneven amount of total games. It's dumb. But league's got a lot of problems, but they just, Goodell shows up with this little smirk on his face because he just got his check for the week for, $8.5 million, whatever it was. So you have the field issue, the quality of play, the flags. Troy Aikman's on there complaining last night. And then they had a tie. You're still having ties. College football doesn't have ties any longer. Yet the NFL, they can't figure that out. Yes, the new Radford softball field is going to be plastic. Correct. Yes. We had the Packers and the Cowboys game, a 40-40 tie. Yay. So it's now the only professional sport in America you can draw in soccer after the extra time. But I'm talking about football, basketball, baseball, and hockey. North American sports. The NFL is the only one that you can have ties. I don't think they even tie in the CFL. Denver's grass and Green Bay is grass. They're becoming dinosaurs. Grass stadiums are becoming dinosaurs. I think over 70% of the stadiums are on turf now. So how can the NFL, the richest of all the leagues, be the only league that settles for ties? Because it's too hard to keep playing? You're making college kids go out and play. And that's not the perfect overtime system, but like the Virginia-Florida State game ended up being even better because of the way that the overtimes went. I don't like it when it keeps extending, but they did add the 2-point conversion thing, which is shortening it. At first, it was a bad one because they kept going on. Sometimes, you had a couple 8 overtime games, something like that, and that wasn't right. So they did after 2 or 3, they go into the 2-point conversion. That's shortened them all. But college football doesn't tie. They used to tie all the time. When I was growing up, they didn't have overtime. You just finished in a tie. But not any longer. Just in the National Football League can you tie because of reasons. Because they couldn't come to an agreement with the NFLPA. It's too much. It's just too much football. But yet we'll add a 17th game, and you have to play on Sunday and then on Thursday. See, that's not too much. Because, you see, that feeds into our greed and more money we're making. But if at the end of overtime we're tied, we got to end the game because that's just too much for the players. What the hell? The NFL spends all their time and money going after future fans rather than, the core base. Exactly. It's not a good product. The NBA is not a good product. I don't watch the NBA anymore. I don't know if I'm going that route as well with the NFL at some point. I would think at some point, like last night, as I was walking up the stairs, I was actually going, wow, that was pretty easy just to turn off my Bronco game. Field goal shootout, sure. Why not? Field goal shootout. The kickers are so good in the NFL. Each team gets a kick. You have to face the same goalpost, I guess, make it fair. Start with a 50-yarder if they both make it. 55, I don't know, something. But the NFL should not be ending in ties. But hey, it's too hard to keep playing. Because, you might play on Sunday night and you have to play on Thursday because, we've got that big deal with Amazon. That puts more millions into the coffer. So we don't care about the players then. We don't care about not doing the proper research on the turf. We don't care about that. Yeah, we're losing really good players left and right, but that's okay. It's cheaper. We're going to add an 18th game. It's going to be more football, but hey, that's okay. But that doesn't qualify for being too much for the players. What qualifies is playing more football that night and ending a tie. And fish rots from the head. And it does the NFL no favors that, ESPN has bought the NFL network going forward. And we already know where they lie on things in this country, ESPN. It's unbelievable. But hey, it's not surprising in any way, shape, or form. Is it surprising? See how I just changed my Yeah, everything, it's weird. This studio resets itself. There you go. BDST host. It's back now. Hit us up in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. I don't know. Come up with something. Marva Mamie joins us in 15 minutes. Maybe we'll talk about these things with Marva. Marva doesn't have North Carolina to talk about this week, so maybe we can get into that with her. Make sure that you subscribe, like, and share. We're still getting subscribers on a daily basis, but obviously we need to keep going. Remember, those of you that have subscribed, if you just get one person to hit subscribe, then all of a sudden we're at 1,000, and then we're good for 3 years here if I chose to do that. So please, thank you so much, by the way, for your support. You're the reason this program has gotten where it's gotten in a very short amount of time, and I thank you. I mean that sincerely. You have no idea. I love every interaction, even if you disagree with me. I love the people that take the time to challenge me on our Facebook page when I say things like Philip Montgomery should be named the permanent head coach. It means a lot. It means you're engaged. I'd much rather have people engaged than just sitting there like I do during NFL games. Oh, look, there's a nice end around for a 1st and goal. Oh, wait a minute. There's the flag graphic in the score. Guess that'll come back. Morning, Rodney. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, my gosh. I can't believe it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news here on the program, and I blame myself. The Big Dog Sports Talk t-shirts have now been
Oh my. Oh no. Oh no. That was out of nowhere.
Even Bigfoot's fired up. So there you go. Those bad boys right there, thanks to Top Shelf and Brandon, are on their way eventually. When? I don't know. He's going to get them done as quickly as possible. But the T-shirts have been ordered. Dun, da, da, da. Dun, 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 da, da, da. And that's our breaking news. Meant to bring that up immediately, but I got distracted ranting about how bad the NFL is. Thank you, Frankie. And by the way, because I listened to you, not only about the design, first batch, we're going to have 100. The majority are extra large. There are some 2Xs, larges, and there'll be a few mediums for the ladies. Yeah. Yes, they have the QR code on the bottom. So all you have to do is if you're around somebody and you're trying to help get subscribers for us, you just say, hey, point that at that. Boom. And it'll come up right there on their phone, and then just hit subscribe. It takes them 5 seconds. I got a lot of advice that's the way things are done now. This whole QR code world frightens me. It was all Louise Baker. She was the one who brought it up. I was like, QR code? I can't make a QR code. Guess what? I made a QR code. And if I can make a QR code, anyone in America can make a QR code. Yeah, here it is again. People want to see it again. See right there? Boom. And that's what you would point your camera at. So if you're with somebody and you're hanging out and you're having beverages, you're at a party, you're at a whatever. Hey, by the way, you should subscribe to this show right here. Turn around, let them take a picture of your back. We put it on the back because we didn't want people, and I think it may have been Louise as well. So yeah, you probably don't want that on the front because you don't want, hey, ladies, let me take a picture. Maybe a little creepy. We'll announce what the price will be for the shirts here. Selma would be an extra large. I don't know. Selma might just settle into a large. You think she'd be an extra large? Oh, yeah. Yeah, she would be, wouldn't she? Yeah. I think you're right. I think you're probably correct. Yeah. Good call. Good call, Rodney. Yeah, that's right, Jimmy. I made a QR code. Yeah, I did.
Oh my. Oh, no. Oh, no. That was out of nowhere.
Hit us up in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. Hokies rock. No, we want her in a small. I won't add any further commentary there. Selma Hayek, ladies and gentlemen. She doesn't know it, but she's the official, I don't want to say mascot. She's the official inspiration for this program. Good stuff. Marva joins us here in about 10 minutes. Then we have Brian Seagler from the Boundary Corner. We'll get his time. I'm going to ask him about Philip Montgomery, see if he yells at me. David Smith, we'll talk about the NFL and all of its problems. And Mike Burnop, review the game and get into Wake Forest. Okay, yeah, sure. Prometheus, let's get into this. He wanted to see about Wake Forest's season so far. Let's do it. You ask, and I will supply. They've been up and down. They're 2-2. They're not very good. They're young. That's why I think Tech will handle them. They struggled in the opener. I watched a lot of that game. Kennesaw State, it was 10-9 was the final. Wake won. They looked a lot better against Western Carolina. They won that one big, but it's Western Carolina. NC State, who Tech just beat, went to Winston-Salem and beat Wake 34-24 on a Thursday night. And then Saturday, they played Georgia Tech off their feet and really should have won. So they played well, but they're going to be pretty demoralized. Now they got to get on the bus and come to Blacksburg. By the way, the point spread's gone up from 5 to 6.5 for Tech. So people are recognizing. Yeah. Rick, did you like the talk? We discussed the Black Eaties. No, they were just ridiculous. The whole thing was ridiculous. Everything about that uniform was horrible. Just unnecessary and horrible. If they'd have showed up last night against the Jets and worn their classic aquamarine, the throwback, I probably would have watched that game just because of that. But whatever they had on, and I'm going to kind of monitor. There's got to be a site. There's got to be a Twitter account or an X account. Got to be something in there that monitors how these god-awful unis that they bring out, how they sell. Like the Cardinals the other night. Some kind of off-white. It was just horrible. The Cardinals have a beautiful jersey and a classic helmet. The helmet they've always had. Just like the Dolphins. And I don't know what they were wearing, the Cardinals. Best thing for Tech has been the underdog. Yeah. I mean, it didn't work out for them when, played well at South Carolina as an underdog, to your point, Richard. Favored against Vanderbilt, lost. Favored against ODU, lost. Wofford doesn't count in terms of favoritism. You knew they were favored. And they were underdogs by 9.5 on Saturday night. To your point, yeah. Now they're going to be playing as a favorite again. First time against an actual opponent that they're going to be favored. So, yeah, let's see how they handle that. That's a good point. Good point. Rodney says the black unis needed a Rick QR code. Yeah, we're going to partner with the Dolphins and Nike, and we're going to put the BDST QR code on the Dolphins unis on the shoulder pad. It's not a black shirt; it's gray. The lighting in here is this time of morning is not great. Yeah, it's a gray, kind of a neutral. Charcoal gray is what that is. It's not black. Congratulations. Is it really? So Sean Alexander, who played at Alabama, very successful running back with the Seahawks, they've had 14 children? Wow. 14? Yeah, congratulations. Man, kudos to her. Morris, lifelong Fins fan. At least we won't have McDaniels wearing capris. I wonder if Shula would have considered that. Yeah, I don't know. Good question. Very good question. Yeah, not very good games last night. I think the Broncos game ended up 28-3. The Bengals are lost without Joe Burrow. You know what I see in the NFL too? You see guys not giving a great effort. Miss Alexander not playing defense. Lots of scoring left and right. Air big dogs, David says. You think those would fly? You think those would fly off the shelves? Get with Nike? Ooh, and we'll make them black. Just for irony. Wear the new BDST t-shirt with our black Air big dogs. Put the logo on there. Don't know if that would be a merchandising. Thank you, David. There's one pair that would sell. I don't know if the merchandisers would at Nike would think that was a good idea. Remember what was that? Was it a Prime movie? Wasn't very good. When they took us inside Nike, when they were trying to hit the next big thing and they decided to sign this guy named Michael Jordan. Remember that movie? Had Matt Damon in it. I think Ben Affleck was in it too. It was terrible, but it was kind of cool to see the process. I mean, I'm sure it was Hollywood embellished like all the other crap they put out. Can you imagine if they did a documentary there when they were trying to create the Big Dog shoe brand? Good stuff. All right, keep the chat room going. It's fun. So much fun. Always fun. Let's see if she has Carolina garb on today. Joining us now on the program from, I'm sure, chilly home in Miami. It's Marva in Miami. Oh, yeah, look at that. She's wearing a black North Carolina shirt. Hey, congratulations.
No. Just no Carolina colors today. You're always in my heart. But, Carolina did not play.
True.
Last weekend, so it was a really sad time for a lot of people. A lot of people didn't even watch any games in person.
Would you enjoy your Dolphins last night? I thought maybe you were wearing a new, maybe a tank top or something celebrating the Dolphins' apparent new colors, all black.
No, but because the Dolphins won, but then the Dolphins also lost with Tyreek Hill's injury.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll see those uniforms again.
Let's hope not.
Yeah.
I expect billions of dollars to be earned in those unis last night. I tell you what, that's good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it was seeing that game on the schedule, I was like, why are the Dolphins playing against the Jets on Monday night? Isn't that weird? Am I the only person that thought that was weird? No,
it was weird. And again, and that's another criticism of the NFL. Why are these dual Monday night games? It's so stupid. It makes no sense. They put themselves against their
makes
product.
Dollars and cents, Rick. That's why.
Well, it does from an advertisement. But again, they're forgetting about the one entity that's made them the number one sports business of all time, the fans. Because then the fans have to go, oh, I guess I'll have to flip around. It's just.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? People are asking me to ask you about. Did you hear about how Bill and Jordan spent the off week? You and I joked about this yesterday.
Sure, there was a lot of like videoing and photographing for social media, and a lot of canoodling. Have you heard that term?
Canoodling, yeah.
Okay, a lot of that canoodling.
I know what a canoodle is. Yeah,
a lot of canoodling, and I hope there was some planning going on also. I hope.
Who you play next week? When you come off the bye week? Who's Carolina got?
Carolina plays Clemson.
Oh, they might win that game.
Yeah, they might. They might.
Is it Carolina? Is it at Carolina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just hate Clemson's been losing so much because that makes them so hungry for a win. That's what I hate about it.
That's true.
That's true. But Carolina also needs a win. This is Carolina's first game in the conference, and as I said, I mean, there's still a chance for Carolina to really do something in the ACC. And so it has to come out strong against Clemson. And, of course, I would love to see them just stomp them into the ground. But the chances of that happening are probably slim.
Yeah. They haven't looked very good against actual, competition so far. Yeah. But we'll see. You never know.
They have not played a game at ACC, Rick. Give them a shot, okay?
That's right. Hey, you know what? Carolina's path is similar to Virginia Tech, right? Everybody was down and out.
Yeah.
And Carolina's got 2 wins. Now that Tech gets started in conference play, the huge win, maybe.
Yeah, I was happy for Tech to see that.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure it helped everyone just to boost morale. And, that's important. Going through all this turmoil with the coaching change and everything, and to say people were down on you, you're not going to win this season, and then to come out and beat NC State like that. And so, who knows? They can do something. And when you thought you couldn't do anything, learning you can do something is encouraging, right?
Anything,
something. I mean, we don't want to go too crazy, but maybe some problems have been figured out.
It needs to start turning around, because in the 2 games they played, TCU and against UCF, they just looked utterly unprepared and dominated.
Not good. And so I'm hoping, and what a lot of Carolina fans are hoping for, is that the coaching staff will make quarterback change. But I don't know, because I'm just concerned that Gio Lopez is not the guy.
I think a lot of people
said that from the beginning. I said he's not. He doesn't look good out there. He looks lost. And his advantage was supposed to be that he could run. But a lot of times, like especially early, they weren't letting him do it. I don't know why. And they started letting him do it a little bit. But it just doesn't seem like, he's fitting in very well. So I would like to see them give someone else a shot and see what happens. I mean, I've mentioned Max Johnson. I think give him a chance. Let's see what he can do out there. He always seems more comfortable when he's put in, when Gio has suffered an injury and he goes in, he just seems more comfortable out there. He's moving the ball better.
Yeah.
So I would hope they would give him a chance, but I've also heard that this is kind of Belichick's guy. Why? That's the part I don't get. That's the guy he went for.
Do you know how much he got paid? I mean, in all seriousness, I wonder if that's why.
And I don't know. I have no idea how much he got paid, but I mean, at the end of the day, what are you worried about? Oh, he's going to get mad and leave. I don't even know how much eligibility he has left. But
that's true. That's a good point. That's a great point.
Leaves, okay, bye.
You're not paying him anymore, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I don't know. But I think more just for my sense, it seems like it's more of a pride thing. Like, I brought this guy in. I believed in this guy. We got to stick with this guy. That's what I'm thinking. And I hope that that's not the case. I hope I'm wrong, actually. I hope they're willing to just try something different. I mean, when nothing is working, what's the harm in trying something different? I mean, the teams that Carolina beat were teams they were supposed to beat, right? And even those wins were not like, those wins we see top teams usually have early in the season where they're just crushing someone and it's, embarrassing for the other team. They weren't like that. And so I don't see what the harm is in trying something different. And let's say, you put Max Johnson out there and he doesn't do well.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay.
At least you're trying it. At least
we
you're
tried
trying.
something different. We're going to go back. Carolina also has a freshman there that's been sitting on the bench. I think he played one play against TCU and he threw an interception. But I mean, he was first ever play and he was put it in when the game was well out of reach. But people are excited about him. But they're just, Carolina isn't sure if they want to throw him out there yet, give him a little more time. But either way, just try something different. I think that's what fans want to see is try something different. I mean, there's some fans who are already tired of Belichick. Oh, get rid of him. But, some fans are just like that. I think, give him a chance. I believe in giving everybody a chance. And I think it's too soon to say that Bill Belichick experience hasn't worked. But I do think fans need to see make a change at quarterback at least. And I hope that's what they do. But,
we found them. This is where they were this weekend.
Oh, how sweet.
From Ohio found an article in the New York Post. They were at Nantucket. That's right. Instead of trying to make his football team better, he decided, you know what? I'm going to let my 24-year-old girlfriend, the 73-year-old. There they are getting away. Bill kind of looks like a Sasquatch trying to run away from a camera guy. Right there.
I mean, oh gosh, I hadn't seen that. But again, I'm not surprised. And I think a lot of it, she wants to be on camera, right?
No. Look at that with the puppy dog, Marva.
Yeah.
Can you see?
How cute. Oh gosh, they better win.
So cute.
But yeah, she wants to be on camera.
Thanks,
that's
Wade.
her thing. She wants to be on camera. And I mean, I guess he's just smitten or something because, he's never been the type to want to be in the spotlight outside of games. He just doesn't want to be in there.
That is true. That is true.
After the game, he hates doing his media interviews. And so now, I mean, maybe she softened him up, but maybe, Rick, I don't want to say this. Is he too soft now? What is happening?
I don't know. This is beyond a midlife crisis. Mm-hmm. This is creepy.
And some people are saying, is something going on with
this
him?
Is creepy.
And I don't want to say that. I don't want to think that's the case. But let's say, what if this was your, like a parent or what would you think? What would your thoughts be? Probably wouldn't be good, right?
No, it would not be good.
It's bizarre. And
bizarre is a good word.
I always
bizarre is bizarre is a good word.
It's a little strange. And I firmly believe in having friends who are different from you, different ages. Like I learned so much from older friends I have.
Absolutely.
But this is I'll just leave it at that. It's a little bizarre. Okay. It's a little bizarre. And I hope that everything is on the up and up. Like I hope that it's not something that's going to end very badly. I'll just leave it at that.
I don't think it's, but end it will. Hey, a question about Carolina basketball. What are the expectations? Big year for Hubert Davis.
Expectations are very big. There are some fans who, there are fans who just never wanted Hubert Davis to start with.
No.
And they are very, very upset. And there's some people who wanted to give him a chance, and then they were very upset about the year, when Carolina didn't make the tournament, and they were upset at some of the things that are going on. But I really think Carolina was a little late to the party with figuring out how to do this NIL stuff and how to make it work and how it's different, from when Hubert Davis played. Because I think he was thinking a lot of things are going to be like when he was there, when he was a student athlete and how he was treated and blah, blah, blah. And freshmen do this and they don't do that. And it's a different era. And I feel like Carolina is finally getting on board with that. Carolina's brought on a GM. I think it's going to be helpful. So Hubert Davis can focus on basketball stuff and not having to worry about, which deals being offered to which player and all. That's going to be out of his hands for the most part now. I think he can focus more on the players. And I'm excited about this season. I mean, I looked at the schedule recently came out. And I mean, I'm always excited, though, about basketball season, honestly. I mean, when I was watching that TCU game, I'm like, when does the basketball season begin? So
True.
I think it's going to be good. I'm not the type of person who, can give you the background on every player who's coming in. I just like to kind of see what they do once the games start. But though, from what I've heard and what I've seen, people have talked about who are closer to the program say it should be a good group. It should be a chance for Hubert Davis and this Carolina team to shine. I am hopeful that things will start off on the right foot, because I'm remembering last season, Carolina started off as usual playing in a lot of these high profile tournaments. And you could just tell these players were still very new to one another and things just weren't quite gelling as they should.
Yeah.
But still, I wasn't worried about that at first. Like, oh, it's early, but it got late quickly. Carolina was able to turn it around eventually, but still not to the level that fans wanted.
Yeah.
And so, because Carolina fans every year they think Carolina should be in the Final Four, and Carolina should probably win championship. And that's great. I would just like to see, I want to see, of course, a championship, but I also want to see solid season, players gelling, no embarrassing comments on social media, maybe not even players. And I know they can't control their families. But I just let's just focus on the getting fundamentals right. Playing Carolina basketball, style of basketball Hubert Davis likes is what I like. I want to see them running up and down the court. I want to see a lot of points scored.
I'll see them. We play down in Chapel Hill again this year. So
that's going to be fun. I so wish I could be there for that.
He wants to fly you up on the private RU jet and get you up there.
Yeah. Can you do that?
You can be our sideline correspondent. Yeah,
I would do it. I would be there for you. I would love to do that.
I'd love that.
But I know,
it'd be fun.
Do you know offhand when that game is exactly? Like the day?
Yeah, sure. Just a second.
Is it a week game?
Let me find it here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to put you on the spot.
No, that's okay. I don't. But, I haven't gotten in basketball mode at all.
Yeah, I understand. It is sadly football season. I went to a game to watch Carolina play Campbell last year over the Christmas holidays. Oh, it's a Tuesday.
November the 11th.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able
right after we play West Virginia Wesleyan.
Oh, okay. So you will know a lot about your team coming into that Carolina game.
Oh, no doubt.
So, but I remember when Carolina played Radford last year, and it was like it wasn't a runaway, especially at the beginning.
We hung in there for a little while.
Yeah, hung in there for a little while. So, we'll see. I'm so excited about this season. I'm not giving up on football, but it's just like when you are a Carolina fan, that is what we talked about this before. That's what you look forward to. You want to win in football. You want to be respectable. You don't want to go out there and get beaten like Carolina did against TCU and UCF. No, you don't want that.
I don't think that'll happen this week. I don't think Clemson can do that to anybody right now. You talk about reeling. Clemson's reeling.
They seem lost. I'm sure Dabo's going to turn things around.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No doubt, Wayne, UNC does have great basketball uniforms. Even Rick will admit that. Oh, there's no question.
You have to.
There's no question.
Oh, funny, Wayne. Is Baycott back? Funny.
Has he got his 9th year of eligibility?
He's not going to be either. He's last I heard, he was playing in the G League.
Yeah, and he's a G League player. Yeah,
he's playing in the G League, and I heard an interview he did with someone, and they were saying, you know what you need to do? You have these skills, and they were just telling him basically he needed to be tougher. He needed to go harder because they said he did have the skills to play. Because sometimes when you watch these games, you're like, I think maybe he could help a team out. I really do. But we'll see. I don't know. I don't.
No.
He has skills.
You were posting pictures of your daughter.
AARP. Funny.
You were posting pictures of your daughter, right?
Yes.
Was it her birthday again?
No, it's that National Daughter's Day, which is it's a made-up holiday. I don't know.
Is she taller than you? She's tall, isn't she?
Sorry, is she what?
She's taller than you, isn't she?
No,
I know you're massive at 5'11".
She is not, Rick. Remember, I am just under 6 feet tall.
I know. I know.
When I was coming up, I could have played in WNBA, but didn't exist at that time.
Marva's like 4'9", by the way.
That is not true. But she is not. She is not taller than I am, and I don't know where you got that from.
Well, she's beautiful.
Thank you very much.
She is, and she's growing up. It's like I'm growing up with her because I've been following. It's great. I love the way both of your children.
Oh, well, thank you.
If you haven't seen Marva's children,
don't.
They broke the
weird.
On how they're just beautiful kids. It's just amazing.
Thank you. They are beautiful kids.
They should be like on a JCPenney catalog modeling children's clothes as they get older.
Interesting.
They should be.
But
Just trying to help you. Just trying to help you there
yeah, make a
financially.
little extra little cash there.
What'd your hubby think of the
My
big
son
tie?
does not like to take pictures, so
Yeah, no, you do a great job. You do a great job.
he hates taking
Hey,
pictures.
finally, yeah. What did your hubby think about the tie? Was he satisfied with the 40-40 tie
At
the other
least
night?
they didn't lose. I mean, it's better than after a loss. I will say that, because I actually went to bed. I didn't watch the end of that game, and I got up and saw it was a tie the next morning. And I checked in with him, and he was complaining about the refs, that something happened that shouldn't have happened with Packers. I don't know. So I don't know if that's just him complaining or if others have been saying that too. So yeah, he was complaining about something.
Yeah.
As usual.
I understand.
I live with Rick.
Well, he's a Cowboys fan. He's got to complain.
He's complaining. Yes. But I did hear that Dak had a good game. So.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
I heard that. I mean, that was from an independent source, not from my husband.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't with that one.
Well, have a great week, as always. And we appreciate your thoughts. And this next week, we'll have the big Carolina-Clemson game to talk about.
So we can
that'll
talk
be great.
about it. So hopefully it'll be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thanks for your time, as always. And give my best to your family.
Thank you. And thank you for the nice comments, Wayne. I love you, too. You're always there.
We love Wayne.
Is he like your biggest fan? I think so.
I think so. All right.
Okay,
Take care.
See you later. Have a good one.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right, you too. All right. There you go. Marvin, man. Marva's great. Love Marva. We do love Marva. Like, that's real. We love Marva. We do. Ryan Price said playing in the G League, collecting RP. The attorney, Ryan Pry, who brings us our BDST Fed question of the week. Going to get a 10th year of eligibility for the sniffles. We love Marva. Do you think this week, Bill Belichick at his press conference, getting ready for the game, is this going to be like, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? I'm a little bit distracted. As you may know or may not know, Jordan and I spent this past weekend down in Nantucket. I haven't thought much about Clemson. I did think a lot about collecting seashells. And when you're out there on the base of the ocean where the waves hit the sand, and then you smell that hint of fermented strawberries, I realized that I'm with the most special person in my life, Jordan. So next question, please. You think it's like you think he's just completely distracted? Yeah, Coach, we're just talking about trying, Cade Klubnik. We'd like to kind of get your take on that. And I'm sorry. Is he a football player for Clemson? I'll have to check with Jordan about that, and I'll get back to you. He's just he's no longer even prepping for teams because of his weekends in Nantucket. Any event. Thank all of our sponsors here on the program. Thank you. You've made, along with our great audience, you made the show into what it's become here in our 6th week, starting this week. Family Fencing Studios, 540-200-8294, familyfencingnrv.com. Go see Jason Green and the folks there. Free quotes, you name it, they got it. Payment plans, McClellan Chiropractic. Thanks to Mark Hunley, right off Peppers Ferry Road. They are terrific. Thanks to Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment, title sponsor of this program. If everyone had the mindset those folks do, this place would be flourishing all over. Amazing. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg. Give Charles Lee a call. Go by and see him. Tell us you heard us talking about it. We just talked about Ryan Pry. And the question is going to be this week, if Tech goes 6-6, 7-5, at what point this year is the Georgia Tech game? If they win this week, which I think they will, and if they beat Georgia Tech, does all of a sudden now it's a no-brainer to take off the interim tag? Thanks to Larry Ramsey, member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner, BDST on YouTube. 35 years I've been with the National Bank. And Travis Williams and everybody, Professional Door Incorporated, residential, commercial garage doors, family owned and operated, 38 years, Route 100 right across from New River Community College. Sponsor of our text line at 391-0788. Brian Seagler joins us from the Boundary Corner podcast coming up. We'll talk about Wake. We'll talk about the win. And we'll get his thoughts on these things coming up. David says Bill would be great laying in a tub beside another tub. Cialis commercials. Now, Rick, here's Rodney. Rodney, of course, is a Carolina lifer. If you were 73 and a good-looking 24-year-old paid attention to you, would you get all weak kneed? I don't know. I don't know if I'd have any knees left, first of all, 73. I think the creepiness of it comes from both sides of it. But, obviously with her being 24 and her looking the way she does, the fact that she's with someone that's 73, something doesn't add up. That just doesn't happen. He already has weak knees, Rodney David says. He does. It's just weird, man. It's just weird. A lot of people hit me up on the professional door text line about the NFL, the deteriorating product, the injuries, Malik Neighbors. I don't know when he'll ever be able to play again. It looked like one of the worst knee injuries I've seen, all because of the turf. 100% because of the turf. 100% because of the turf. We saw linemen go down back-to-back games out there in L.A., the Chargers game, during the Broncos game. Bad turf. Why is the NFL still playing on turf? All these new stadiums that are coming out, and they're going to put plastic grass on them, and they won't address it. But I just, for me, I had no desire last night to even watch my own team play. And that's where I've gotten with the league. It's cookie cutter football. Someone said it's a league of 10-yard outs and too many penalties. I mean, they threw 27 flags last night in the Broncos game. I was looking up the numbers because I got on X this morning and I followed some of the Bronco people, and they were all just disgusted about the game. The Broncos says 28-3. The Broncos won. What? Well, they were going through all the penalties, and then they had that clip of Troy Aikman that's gone viral where he's just ripping the league, saying that the NFL is a bad product. I said this on the show yesterday. Troy Aikman's got to be on YouTube finding the show. Troy, come on. We'd love to talk about it. Come on. You're a UCLA guy. I used to be a UCLA guy. Let's go. When he's sitting right there, he doesn't care. He's done this long enough. He's a rich man. What are they going to do? You're going to kick Troy off the broadcast? That's what you want in your broadcast. That's what makes an analyst. You want somebody to be honest. It is a crappy product. Every game's a bad product. I don't care if the games are close. I think maybe that's kind of backfired too. That they all seemingly end up, or most of them, last night's game's not necessarily the case, although the Jets did close the gap late on the Dolphins. But a lot of those games, they're always decided in the last little bit. Yeah, it's exciting, but I don't know. Just don't know. It's odd stuff, man. The league will find its kryptonite. I know it feels like it doesn't have any. But Zod exists. Zod was the one who brought kryptonite to Earth and messed up Superman pretty bad. You remember in Superman, when he opened up the chest, Lex Luthor, played by Gene Hackman, he opened up the chest and there was the kryptonite. Put it around his neck, put him in the pool. The NFL will find their kryptonite at some point if they continue along this path, I think. Nobody is immune to it. Baseball used to be in that position that the NFL is in now, Major League Baseball. That's why it called itself the national pastime. It got in some trouble in the late 80s, early 90s when they canceled the 94 season. You remember that? Had that great all-star game when Tony Gwynn scored. My beloved Padres, Tony Gwynn, my all-time favorite baseball player, slid home right underneath the Pudge Rodriguez tag. And what did they do the next day? They canceled the season. They locked out the players. And they lost the fans for a long, long time, generations of fans. And then they got into the steroid era. The Bash Brothers. They got into Sosa and McGuire, breaking all these records, and Barry Bonds, and how ridiculous all that was. Brady Anderson, for God's sakes, hit 50 home runs. Guys look like they just walked out of the weight room. They looked like linebackers in the NFL, and everybody was just letting it happen. Bud Seeley, because they tried to get the fans back, and they've never recovered from those two eras. And the NFL just leaped right over them, because at that time they were doing everything right. Now the NFL is starting to make some of the same mistakes over and over and over again. It's happening. So we'll see. We'll see how it all ends up. David Smith and Mike Burnop a little bit later on. Joining us now on the program from the Boundary Corner podcast, he is Brian Seagler. Brian, how are you, brother? Good morning.
Good morning, Rick. How are we doing this morning?
Doing okay, man. And, hey, a lot of Tech folks with smiles on their faces after that win. First of all, what were your thoughts, and what was the level, 1 to 5, your surprise level, 5 being the highest, as Tech continued to play well and won that game?
I think surprise level that we won was definitely a 5. I think I expected us to go out there and compete pretty well, but I didn't expect us to be able to kind of corral Hollywood Smothers the way we were able to do, keep that a pretty low-scoring game, and let, the different phases of our team all really have kind of standout moments in a road victory that I don't think anyone was really anticipating. I think a lot of folks saw that NC State, while flawed, looked like the better team, and we went down there and took care of business.
Going on the road, and I had said that going, I think you and I may have talked about it, the fact they were going on the road to start conference play. Maybe that's a good thing to get away from the noise a little bit. They finally got that win under their belt against Wofford. Maybe it would benefit them, and it sure did. They looked like the thing about it, it looked like they were having a lot of fun. Guys were having fun playing for one another, which, to be honest, we didn't see very often when Brent Pry was there.
We didn't see that very often, and they were having fun playing in a game that was close throughout. It was like one of those games where there's high stress, there's high intensity, but they seem to enjoy the process throughout. And, we saw a couple guys kind of step up and kind of find some new roles. Obviously, we saw Terrion Stewart, Bully, just have himself a game, rolled off that big run. And then on the other side, Christian Ellis making about 3 or 4 different timely plays, finally getting a little bit more run than he has gotten thus far in the season. And he really showed out. When we were looking back at footage from the spring game, we were watching back some of that tape. Christian Ellis was a guy that kind of stood out in the spring, and we hadn't seen a ton of him to this point. And, he really got in there and made some big plays. So both guys wearing 8 had themselves a game against NC State.
Well, I posted on the show Facebook page after the win. I said, hey, maybe half facetiously, just cancel the committee. Go ahead and name Philip Montgomery the head coach. People push back. They're still pushing back. It's funny. I just, the interaction's nice, though. I'll say, so what he's done, the one thing you can't deny is what he has done has been very impressive. To say that may be not even a word that even qualifies. The fact he kept everybody together. They now know who's for them and against them, guys who might be leaving and did leave, and all the turmoil. That team was very excited. When he knocked down that 4th down play, we saw an enthusiasm. That's a team together. 2-0 aside, what Philip Montgomery's done to keep everybody on the same page and keep them focused has been a miracle, to be honest, with all the distractions.
Yeah, they put out the reel, I think it was yesterday, of like some of the pregame talk that he was giving, and then kind of the highlights, and then what was happening post-game. And I think you can see a different type of energy in the locker room. And it seems like everyone that is doing their thing this year with this team, they want to be here. They're ready to ride for the rest of the duration of this season. They're ready to put it all out there and see where the chips fall. And that's what we needed at this point. I mean, that you lose a coach mid-season, most of your goals are probably out the window, but the fact that you hadn't played a single ACC contest means that you can still go out there and accomplish a few of them if you are able to right the ship, settle in a little bit, and figure out exactly how good you can be when you got the right focus.
Yeah, that's a great way to say it. No doubt about it. Brian Seagler joined us from the Boundary Corner podcast. If you don't already, don't miss them. They do a great review and preview each and every week of Virginia Tech football games. So Wake Forest is coming in. I had a couple quotes here in the chat room. People were worried about this being a track game. I don't think Virginia Tech's in any position to look at any game as being a trap game. I think they go out and approach every game as the next opportunity. And Wake, they showed they're pretty good at times. They had Georgia Tech beat. They let that get away. So I think Tech will win on Saturday, but I don't think there's a trap game on Tech's schedule going forward.
Yeah, I don't think there's – really the only trap game I think potentially on this schedule would have been, ODU coming off Vandy if you'd have gotten a win there. And then with ODU coming there, obviously that went a completely different direction than we anticipated.
Yeah.
But that was the kind of trap game I saw on our schedule there. Sure, you can say, okay, well, we're looking, towards Georgia Tech and towards a potential top 25 opponent and things like that. But at the end of the day, we need to take care of business in the ACC. We especially need to take care of business in the ACC in October, because if you look at the way November is lining up, that's going to be a very, very tough row to run through there. So I'm anticipating us being focused in October and then seeing where we land, and then we'll handle that gauntlet in November when it gets to us.
Good question here from Wayne. For you, Brian, do you know, are players waiting until tomorrow to enter the portal for the last paycheck? That's kind of what I've heard. Also, expectations of what to hear at the big meeting today about all that. Have you heard anything about that anywhere? I'm going to ask Burnop that question, too, coming up a little later. So,
I've heard different dates. I've heard October 1st. I've heard September 28th, kind of those last days, regardless of what month it is, as being the cutoff. So I'm not sure exactly which one of those it is, but I anticipate the last big run of portal entries is going to happen in the coming days, whether it's today or tomorrow or the next day. I'm shocked that more haven't entered at this point. I know we had a few that were out that maybe weren't anticipated, and the speculation is that most of those guys are entering the portal. But on the other side of that coin, I've heard a few of those guys are legitimately injured, so they are out for other reasons. So I'm not sure how many of those guys are going to actually enter the portal, but I imagine if they are, you're going to hear about it between now and Thursday.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, you guys looking at the matchup for Wake, how do you see this game going? Do you have a pretty decent confidence level? It's going to be a sellout, I believe. I think everybody's going to be stoked once again. How do you think Tech's going to do now? Somebody made a great point in chat about now they're a favorite in a game against an actual opponent coming up. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, Wake has shown that, they're not a great team, but they can punch up when they need to. When we saw that against Georgia Tech, I know Georgia Tech didn't probably play its best game overall, but they hung in there and weren't able to take care of business at the end and close that thing out against Georgia Tech. But they definitely have shown that they can match up well against talented rosters. So being a favorite, I think maybe that homecoming flavor has a little bit more juice than the fact that it's Wake. I think Wake is a good team. I don't think they're a team that matches up with us even without some of the guys that we've got on the roster from a talent standpoint. But at the end of the day, we got to go out there and take care of business, and I think that's what I want to see, because we really haven't done that well at home this season. So I'm hoping that we have a good game at home. We can take care of business and set us up pretty good for Georgia Tech and the rest of this ACC slate.
Yeah. Follow up a big win with another big home win. You're right. And trying to get a big win at home, it shouldn't be that way, but it's something you can't assume anymore, right? Right now in the state of the program. So
you can't assume it anymore. It's been like I said, it's been tough sledding at home. It's been tough sledding at home against lesser competition, if you want to call it that. Especially looking at the ODU loss. Absolutely on paper, Virginia Tech was the better squad on that field, and they got absolutely whipped. So it's not all about talent. Sometimes it's about execution. Sometimes it's about having the right mindset when you're playing. And I feel like we're starting to get the mindset right, and we'll see what talent is left there on the field, and if they can continue playing together like they showed against NC State.
Brian, if you would, remind people how they can find all the guys at Boundary Corner. It's terrific stuff, especially when you have the panel of four up there and you guys are just debating about everything. It's good stuff.
Appreciate it, Rick. Yeah, you can go to boundarycornervt.com. That's got all of our stuff. And if you're looking for us on socials, it is Boundary Corner on X and at Boundary Corner VT on the gram. So go check us out. And if you're looking for us on YouTube, it's youtube.com, then at Boundary Corner VT. So go check us out there.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
Easy enough. What's going to be your tailgating, your main course that you're tailgating this week? Have you decided?
You know, I haven't really I haven't gotten it figured out fully yet, but we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna get it mapped out at some point in the next couple of days.
All right. We'll follow up with that next week too.
That's right.
All right, my friend. Thanks for jumping on as always. Look forward to getting your reaction about the game next week.
Absolutely, Rick. Appreciate you having me.
All right, brother. Keep doing a great job. A lot of fun. Those guys are terrific. Boundary Corner. They're really, really good. Really, really good. Hit us up in the McClellan Chiropractic Chat Room, Professional Door Incorporated, text line 391-0788. Let's get caught up here on some text before David Smith joins us. Belichick weird? You don't say. If you ever listen to him speak or just his press conferences, one would assume he's that boy is weird. Most of the time, it seems like the referees, Ryan Price says, are calling penalties on certain plays specifically to make the game seem close. Yeah, absolutely. That's a criticism that a lot of people are on, Ryan. So you got that attorney mind, you know. I think there's something to that. I think that's what Troy Aikman was getting to last night. I really do. David Sludge, it's beyond creepy. He's 73. He's been a football coach for his whole life. She's 24-year-old Pop-Tart. They have nothing in common. Can you see her wanting to go clubbing? Oh, this is one of my favorites, Jordan. Look at my shoulders. Let's get out there. Let's shake our groove thing. I get the feeling Jordan probably talks like Millennial Maggie. Bill, I don't even know what you're saying. What's a groove thing? Hokey Bob, going back to the Broncos game, 27 penalties at 2.5 minutes per penalty. That's 68 minutes. Yeah. And I think only 19 of them were accepted. Even the teams were like, yeah, we're not going to take the penalties. It's just bad. NFL's bad. In Major League Baseball, yeah, I heard it. And what in the world would they be locking out over? I think I know what it is. The owners want a salary cap. 2027, I've heard that too. They want a salary cap. Baseball needs a salary cap. Baseball playoffs are tonight. We mentioned it a little bit in the open. Beloved Pods today at 3 at Wrigley. Cubs are really good. NL Central may have the best two teams in the National League. The Brewers and Cubs. Phillies are really good. The NFL makes Forrest Gump, John says, look like Warren Buffett, shown by Roger Goodell. What the hell is a Bad Bunny? He's a very untalented person in music. I'm not going to use the word artist. No talent, who has basically said he wants half the country dead because they disagree with him politically. And that's the guy the NFL decided to put on at halftime. Jason from Family Fencing. Yeah, Tyreek Hill's dislocated knee was gruesome. Yeah, he's done for the year. I don't see him coming back from that. That's probably when they get in there, they're going to realize there's probably more to that, unfortunately. But he hadn't really been much with the Dolphins anyway. Had a good first year and a half. He's just been in the wilderness. He has. Belichick and Millennial Jordan grooving to Torn by Natalie Imbruglia. Oh, really? All of his songs are in Spanish? Is that true? This guy? Yeah. The NFL has lost sight, and they've done it intentionally. They've lost sight with that hyphenated word, self-awareness. They have none because of the money and ratings that they rake in. Wayne says Tech needs to finally protect Lane. Yeah. If they've taken another step, then that should be an afterthought. You should beat Wake Forest by 2 or 3 scores on Saturday. at home. If things are still okay. Wake does not travel well, especially with the young team. Has Wake even had a road game? You realize Wake has not even had a road game? They played Kennesaw in Winston-Salem, Western Carolina in Winston-Salem. Wake Forest hosted NC State. First 4 games were at home. Oh, well, that makes this even even more easy. This is their first road game. Yeah. Well, that makes this even more, I think, even more of a slam dunk for Tech. Yeah, they're going to go out on the road for the first time in Lane Stadium, 1 o'clock, sold out. Yes, good point. NFL is intentionally pushing out fans over 40. Yes, they are. That's their goal. They feel like Generation Z, that's exactly what they're doing, 100%. And that's not going to work. Like all these other companies thought they were going to succeed in doing. Thank you, Rodney. Yeah, and thank you. What's really nice, he says, about you being on YouTube, I get to watch the show last night. And a lot of people are doing that. As a matter of fact, my handler from YouTube, the show handler, says, hey, that's what's impressed him the most. People are going back and watching the channel, different episodes, and the average watch time is like over 2 hours. So that's been huge. So thank you for that. And I get a lot of people telling me they're doing that, and that's awesome. They might be working at home. They might just be hanging around getting dinner, and they just put the show on. So that's great. Yeah, Matt Roan was great yesterday. Filmation, lights out. Lights out. So thank you. Again, I didn't think we'd be where we are after 6 weeks. Oh, there you go. Just breaking news came across my phone. Multiple ligament damage. Tyreek Hill's out for the year. Just now. Yeah, it was more than that. That was gruesome. That was gruesome. If I'm somebody who's a supporter of James Madison athletics, I get up every day excited to have Matt Roan as the leader of my athletic department. That guy he is going to make some Power 4 school extremely happy they made that choice. And I think it's going to happen sooner than later. And by the way, I did get some people later on. You got to understand, you don't, people were asking why I didn't ask Matt Roan about Virginia Tech. You don't do that. That is a professional no-no. In other words, you have somebody on, he's happy, he's firmly entrenched in Harrisonburg. Now, you and I can talk about it here on the show. I've said it many times, but you can't have a sitting AD on at a school that he's working his ass off for and throw out a question about another school, in this case Tech, that hasn't even made a decision about what it's going to do. There's a way you do things and a way you don't do things. And I don't do things like that. I would never put anybody in that position. So I hope everybody understands that. He wasn't on here to talk about any other school. He's on there to talk about what he's done at JMU and what their progress is. That is that line of questioning, it shows massive disrespect. And I just said what the NFL doesn't have anymore is self-awareness. That's a host who would not have self-awareness just to try to get some kind of spicy info. And I don't operate that way. I never will. So thank you, Rodney, for the compliment. I appreciate that. Coming up at 8 o'clock, Mike Burnop will join us. We'll talk about the win and look ahead to Wake Forest. And joining us now on the program, we didn't get a chance to talk with him last week.
Nope.
He stood me up.
Yeah, man. I'm back.
He is David Smith, my long-lost brother. What's going on, man? How are you?
Thanks for having me back. I was wondering if I was going to be able to get back on the airwaves with you, man, after having to pivot. But I appreciate your grace, man. And looking forward to being able to chat and get you off of this ledge on all this college stuff that's got you so fired up, man. You all right over there?
Yeah,
Listen,
we're good.
We should be happy. Last night was our night. We got 2 W's.
Yeah.
Listen, Rick.
I'm down on the league, man. I'm down on the league. I didn't watch a play of the Bronco game. I've never said that in my life.
Why are you so down on the league? What's got you so fired up? I should have been picking. I've been in and out of this thing a little bit. What's got you so fired up? Come on.
It's a bad product. Troy Aikman said it last night on the air. 27 flags thrown in the Bronco game. I think 19 of the penalties were accepted. And he's just basically laughing at why. And I think he said something like, why are people even watching this game? Because of that. The league continues to isolate too much of a large portion of the country. This halftime show selection they choose with a guy who said that he wants the country that doesn't agree with him dead. They hire him for the halftime show.
Kind of hard to defend, right? A little bit.
And the whole ignoring about the turf. These players are coming out now saying, you've got to get rid of this turf. You saw what happened to Malik Neighbors in the Broncos-Chargers game last week, 2 season-ending injuries because just guys are trying to cut.
Yeah.
They ignore that. They tell us that the athletes are important. They play it. They still have overtime.
Now, I'm with you on that.
It's too hard. It's too hard. When you're adding a 17th game, you're going to add an 18th game. You're making teams play on Sunday and then Thursday, but guys can't decide the game.
Yeah, we can get there.
And now Roger Goodell's saying, "Oh, yo, there's no question that we're going to have a future Super Bowl that won't be in America." What are they doing?
And now you want me to talk about the league?
Your turn.
No, so thanks for having me. And we're gonna have to find something. We're gonna have to find some common ground on this. Listen, how am I going to dispute the host when you have reputable takes? I'm not going to.
Oh no, it's nobody has to agree with me. It's just how I view it.
No, listen, the silence is deafening. So listen, here's my thing. I'm going to talk to you about the games.
Yes,
because that's all I pay attention to largely. I hear the noise, and listen. Here's where you and I can reach on common ground. Every other level of football, I don't watch a lot of Pee Wee yet. I guess my grandson will play it one day. I'll have to watch it. Has a way to figure out the overtime. You can't end games in a tie anymore. It's not fulfilling to anyone. I don't even think the players. They may talk about it in the offseason because I'm sure the NFLPA came to some agreement like we just can't play on and on and on. We got to stop it. But here's the deal, Rick. Why not 5 minutes of live play, right? And then after that, just go to sudden death. If you can finish the game in 5 minutes with 2 possessions or something or 7, and then just get a resolution in it and that kind of thing, I think would be good. Or play 15 minutes, just play a quarter, and maybe 10 minutes of it is back and forth. And then if there's no resolution, then you maybe do 5 minutes of sudden death. Just get that thing resolved. It's an unfulfilled thing on so many levels. So so you and I, we're walking together on that one. It's okay. Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the games.
All right.
Where do you want to lead off? I guess we can talk about the tie and everything going into it, but let's go with something good that happened. A good team, a team now that I think, no pun intended, Ryan Pryor, you're going to like this, flying high above everybody else. The Philadelphia Eagles have become, I think, right now the quintessential NFL organization. I think it's surpassed everybody else with the way they go about their business, and they just win tough football games, showing the kind of mentality they have and showing the leadership of their quarterback, Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts is playing Jalen Hurts football. Nick Sirianni subscribes to the same kind of football. Now, my concern with the Eagles is, Rick, they are the best team in the NFL.
They are by far.
But there are chinks in the armor around it, in spite of the fact that they're 4-0. They will tell you they probably still haven't played their best game. And you know A.J. Brown, he's laying over there. If it doesn't go his way, he's going to subtly and indiscriminately, but not so much, let you know he's not getting catches. The Eagles beating the Bucks on Sunday, 31-25, having to hold off Baker Mayfield. And if he doesn't throw a red zone interception, which is so not like him, the way he's been playing, we would have a different conversation today. But that's what makes it great. This is what we talked about with the Chiefs last year. They were winning a lot of these one-score games, playing not great, but winning. setting themselves up for success. And Saquon Barkley is not having the same season as last year. But Rick, it's a 2,000-yard season. You're not going to stack that up with another 2,000-yard season. So if Philly can just maintain the boredom that exists in trying to be 4-0 and winning games and putting yourself in position to be at the top of the heap and getting the 1 seed and getting the bye and playing one less playoff game and having everybody come through Philadelphia, they'll be fine. Because I don't see the East being much of a challenge for them, although the Giants are trying to make noise and that kind of thing. For me, Jalen Hurts is probably the crazy, and I love numbers and stats. You can see, well, you can't see, I got papers everywhere. How does a player go 0 for 8 in the second half with no yards passing and the team win the game? Now, 0 for 8. Now, you love him. I love him. He stands for the right stuff. He doesn't care about it at all. He does not. He just want to flash rings at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But 0 for 8 with no yards in the second half, you just really have to be a really good team. Complete team, complementary football. In the game, he throws for 130 yards. They only run for 88 yards in the game. Baker Mayfield threw for 289 on 22 of 40 passing. That interception in the end zone killed him so much. I love that Tampa Bay team. We're going to have to put some respect on that, Rick. I think last time we were together, we talked about what Todd Bowles means. And we even referenced that Todd Bowles is the Jalen Hurts of coaching. He doesn't say a lot. He's very focused on what he wants his team to do, and they just show up and win games other than Sunday's game. So they will now head to Seattle. It's going to be a great matchup Sunday. Both 3-1 teams will meet at 4:05 on Sunday. Meanwhile, the Eagles, they're one of 2 undefeated teams. Them along with the Bills are both 4-0. They will host your Broncos on Sunday, 1 o'clock on CBS. Have your phone ready. I'm going to text you. I want to see how mad I can get you.
That won't go well. I have zero expectations, so it'll be fine.
But Rick, you and I know, we talked about this on the old show. Every single week, something happens you shouldn't expect to happen. We won't talk about it specifically today. I'm sure you had Giants over the Chargers with a new rookie quarterback on Sunday. Said no one. And they went in there and got the job done.
They did.
Chargers. So, again, injuries are starting to play a big role as we're starting to move into week 4 of this thing.
Are the Ravens just a bad football team? I know they're bad defensively. And now who knows about Lamar, right? He went out of that game on Sunday against the Chiefs. What's going on in Baltimore? I'm sure Pebbles has not been pleased.
No. It was actually, in her world, when it's not going well, more than getting frustrated, she just says nothing. And that's always dangerous. Sometimes, maybe you haven't been around enough of these things to understand, but sometimes you just want the person mad to say something. Because when they're not saying something, it can be worse. The Ravens haven't been themselves defensively in about 2 years. But, Rick, I didn't realize this until I read it this morning. I knew there were some problems. By the end of that game on Sunday, the Ravens were down 7 defensive starters. 7 defensive starters. Nobody can withstand that. And they weren't great with all of them. They were still not great.
Yeah, they weren't good starters. Yeah.
they weren't great with all of them. Madubuike is but the names that Roquan Smith, they've got names. You got Nate Wiggins. They're really, really good names. They just haven't played well. And you think about Mike McDonald taking the head job to Seattle. He was the last defensive coordinator they had. You think about the lineage of they had Wink Martindale. They've had Rex Ryan. They've had defensive coordinators. When you think about Ravens, you don't ever worry about the defense. Their problem has been over the years, will they be able to score enough to win in case the defense gives up 17? Well, now the defense on Sunday gave up 37 to a Chiefs team that you looked at that really knew 1 and 2 couldn't become 1 and 3. And that was a game where you figure who was going to become 2 and 2, who was going to become 1 and 3. And you think about the Ravens, Lamar, 14 of 21, 47, and Steve Spagnuolo. That guy, he can coach defense, right? I mean, you see it twice a year, all the time in the division. He found his lane as a defensive coordinator. He schemed that game. I watched. It was actually brilliant. Lamar, and as elusive as he is, there was nowhere to go, left to right. He had a couple of bursts up the middle, but they had that thing spied out and the whole bit. And so Derrick Henry could never get going in the game. Now, why? I don't know. He only had 8 carries in the game. Now, to me, this is like the second or third game, other than I think the Buffalo game where he ran roughshod, where he has not yet had enough carries. I saw a little bit of this last year. When they get behind and have to throw the ball, they, in a lot of ways, take him out of the game. So he's not a factor. So a 37-20 loss for the Ravens, who have 7 defensive injuries, as I mentioned to you before, and Lamar Jackson with a hamstring. A runner with a hamstring, Rick. You know what that can mean.
Not going to work.
They have you ever had a hamstring, by the way?
I have. Yeah, a couple different times. Yeah, you can't move.
You can't move. And when you think you're good, as soon as you open that thing back up, it goes again. And I'm not Lamar by any stretch of the imagination. No one will confuse me with him. But I know enough to know that when you open it back up, unless you've been out a while, it could be a tough one. So hopefully it's not as severe if you're a Ravens fan. They host the 1-3 Texans, who got their first win on Sunday against the woeful Titans. That's a 1:00 game. Meanwhile, the Chiefs on Monday night, they will go and play the surging Jacksonville Jaguars, who are now 3-1. So we will see how the Ravens figure this thing out, if it would be Lamar Jackson or Cooper Rush behind the center. Yeah.
Is it finally happening for Trevor Lawrence and the Jacks? We've been waiting a long time.
We have.
He had the early first game when he waved off his coach, and I wonder if that has had a residual effect, because they seem to have gotten tight again.
Yep.
Team kind of has rallied around him. That's a big win for them to go across the country like that. It's premature, I know, but is this going to be maybe that one team? There's always somebody that you see early in the year. They're 4-5-1, 6-2, and you're like, where'd that come from? Is maybe the Jags are starting to develop into that? We'll see.
Well, maybe their coach is just that guy that wants to fight everybody. You saw he was challenging Robert Saleh, who challenged him around.
Yeah, I like that.
Legal science team. So maybe he just wants to fight everybody. So maybe Jacksonville has fought nobody over the years. He just wants to stir the whole thing up.
Maybe so. There you go.
He might just be that guy that just wants. I would just want to stir the whole thing up. Of course, Jacksonville was notoriously known for being the team that just took all the games overseas every year, and now they're 7.
That's right. Yeah. Every year.
Their owner Khan just was like, "Yeah, we will go."
Yeah, let's go.
And so they will go. We can't fill up this building, but of course
nobody's coming to our games. Yeah.
Well, Rick, give them the product. You know what I mean? Listen, as we saw with Virginia on Friday night, shout out UVA. When you give them a product,
how good
folks will come. Folks will show up, and that was really good to see. Well, maybe Jacksonville now can stop all those games abroad and settle into Jacksonville and play well. And listen, a 26-21 road win against San Francisco. I don't know if many people had that. I thought they probably thought it would be a good game. And with Purdy being back, I know Kittle's been out, but I don't think that many people felt that they would win the game. Well, they not only won the game, they were leading most of the game and had to hold off the Niners, and they made another strip sack. They lead the league in turnovers, if I'm not mistaken. And Trevor Lawrence, a pedestrian 174 yards, but Rick, here's the key. Didn't turn the ball over. He didn't. Now, there was a couple of head-scratching plays late in the game when he had a chance he had a scramble and he went out of bounds late and he should have slid inbounds. And then he threw a check down that he should have just turfed it and that kind of thing, or he should have just ran and stayed in bounds. And so there's a couple of plays that are head scratching, but what's not head scratching is Travis Etienne running for 124 yards and Basil Tootin making the plays in the kicking game. How about that hokey boy?
He's playing great.
But we aren't surprised, because if you saw him last year or the year before, he had the chops. He's solid. He can play the football game.
Good football player.
Real good football game. Real good football player. And here's the thing. Brock Purdy threw for 309 yards in the game, had that costly fumble late. The Niners were 3-0 coming into that game. They now have a short week, Rick. They've got, and here's the thing, McCaffrey is still upright. So he's going through 4 games, and he's still upright.
It's true. Woo!
And so while he can't run as much as he was once did, he only ran for 49 yards. I'm not saying he can't. He hasn't. He has 6 catches for 92 yards in the game. And so for the Niners now 3-1, you needed that win. Why is that? Because you have to turn around on a short week. Here comes Thursday night. You got to go play the Rams in L.A. So that's a road game for them. Meanwhile, the Jaguars are sitting at 3-1. And finally, a reason to be happy. They will host a Monday night football game. They will host the Chiefs on Monday night. The 2-2 Chiefs are coming to Jacksonville for an 8:15 start. So shout out to Jags. They are one of 9 3-1 teams so far in the league.
One more. I hesitate to even talk about it because it was a worthless tie. It was an exciting game, but 40-40. Packers and the Cowpokes. Again, I didn't get to watch because I had to get in bed early, but I woke up and I saw that, and I'm like, really? That game in it. What a anticlimactic finish, huh? To be 40-40 in a game like that. Need a winner, NFL. Need a winner.
Hey, listen, 37 points scored in fourth quarter and overtime in that game because I was in and out of it too. Listen, we have a life other than this. Sleep is needed.
Sleep is needed.
It's kind of mandatory. But as it turned out, interestingly enough, Jordan Love, who just about blew the chance to even tie the game and get the tie, Rick, with that poor clock management down the stretch, another dump off that should have been turfed. He connected, he ran out of timeouts, and then he scrambled at the end to launch the ball and get it to have the clock stop with a second left on it as Chris Collinsworth was about to blow a gasket. Like, what are we doing? As he should have, because we all were like, tick, 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 tick. But the Michael Parsons return and the Jerry Jones glamour fest that existed was, I couldn't wait for the game to start. I've heard and seen so much about it. Poor Michael Parsons with a million cameras in his face, and let's get on with it. And his impact in the game, like it always is, isn't always statistical. It's in pressures, and it is in occupation of offensive guys having to block. And so for him, it's never going to be, it's not like basketball. Well, how did he do? Well, he had 22 points. He had 9. How did he do? Well, I think he had 3 tackles, a couple pressures, and they gave him the sack on that stop of Dak Prescott that would have been a touchdown had he not gotten him, which could have changed the outcome of the game. A 40-40 game. Here's what's not lost in this, Rick, and I think you and I probably more than others over the years have felt this way. Dak Prescott's a pretty good quarterback. He's pretty good,
a great guy and a great human being.
He's a fantastic guy. I root for Dak Prescott a lot. I really, really do. If you read his backstory, you'd feel a lot more about how he does things. He's gone through some stuff. He's going through some stuff.
The way he handled, his depression, that was amazing.
He's had a lot of stuff going on that we could all champion. Not to mention he's 31 of 40 for 319, 3 TDs in the game, no interceptions, with no CD Lamb, top 5 receiver in the league. Here's George Pickens, who Pittsburgh gave away for a sandwich, showing up and showing out. He had 8 for 134 in the game and ended up being a factor in it. Meanwhile, Jordan Love threw for more yards, threw for 337 on 31 of 43. Very comparable stats. 3 TDs and no interceptions as well. Josh Jacobs running the ball nicely. For them, he had 86 yards. And your guy, Rick, Javonte Williams, who looks like he did the first year he was with your Broncos, he also had 85 yards on 20 carries. If Dallas can get some of that going, their defense isn't great. That's another big 40-point defensive effort. Not great, just like they had against the Giants, weirdly enough. But Dallas is 1-2-1. They're hosting they're going to play the 0-4 Jets on Sunday at 1 o'clock. And Green Bay at 2-1-1. All of a sudden, after the first week of the season, when they handled Detroit, handled Washington, everybody thought the Packers were at the top of the heap, yours truly included. But I did pick Detroit to win that division, and all of a sudden, in 4 weeks' time, it's gone from Detroit, no, Packers, no, maybe it's Detroit. And by the way, the Bears did win 2 games straight as well. So that division's getting kind of wonky, and the Vikings are in the mix as well. So the Packers gets a bye week this week. Them along with the Falcons and the Bears and the Steelers are off this week.
All right, so let's look at your hot 4. We think we know who's number 1, but how about the 3 leading up to number 1?
Yeah, Rick, this was tough because we have 9 3-1 teams and 2 undefeated teams. The 2 undefeated teams obviously are going to be 1 and 2. I put the Lions at number 4 at 3-1. They beat the Browns last week. They recovered from that week one loss. And they're at the Bengals this week. I just think Detroit's made of the right stuff. I think they righted the ship after that first week loss to Green Bay, that shellacking. I got the Colts at number 3. I'm not sure they've made our hot 4 over the years. They're at 3-1. They had a tough loss against the Rams, a doggone coverage breakdown. They had 2 touchdowns called back in that game. One where the wide receiver crossing the goal line with no one on him loses the ball out the back of the end zone. That cost them. And then they had a holding call on a touchdown run. And so they're 3-1. They lost to the Rams. Like I said, they host the Raiders this week. I got the Bills at number 2. They're 4-0. They won a tougher game than expected against the Saints, who came to play on Sunday. They're second in the league in point differential. They got the 2-2 Patriots coming up next. I got the Eagles at 1. They won at Tampa Bay, as we talked about, and they will host the Broncos on Sunday. And if they don't get in their own way, the path can be pretty clear for them as they navigate their way through. And that is the hot four this week, brother.
Well, I've missed our picks. I mean, we didn't get to pick games last week. And I was trying to think of the games you may have had on there. I probably wouldn't have done very well when I look back at it. Maybe it was a good thing. So what are we looking at this week for our 5 games?
Well, Rick, if I'm not mistaken, you were 2-3 and I was 3-2 in that game. That the games that you and I were together, the Ravens losing to the Lions, we both had that as a loss. And then you had the Texans beating the Jags, and that didn't go your way. And then the Chargers didn't beat the Eagles. That was your other loss. I had the Eagles. And so we're both 5-5 in the 2 weeks that we picked. So
okay.
So we're right there together. So it's like at 0. So here we go. We got 5 games this week. We're going to start Thursday's game. We got the Niners and the Rams, your favorite NFL Thursday night. We got the Niners and the Rams in LA, Thursday night game. The 3-1 Niners, 4-0 Rams. Who do you like?
Rams all day. Easy peasy.
Wow. I can't argue with you. I'm a Niners guy, but I'm gonna take them because Purdy's in and out of that thing again. The 2-2 Vikings at the 1-3 Browns. That's a Sunday morning game. NFL Network from abroad. Who do you like? Vikings back-to-back. Vikings back-to-back overseas games. Yes,
oh, it's abroad. I thought it was okay. It's not in Cleveland. Where are they playing? Is this an England game?
I believe it is. Yes.
Ooh, you never know. See, that just
And the Vikings have been there a week, so I don't know if that's an advantage or disadvantage. Are they tired of being there? Don't have to get acclimated. So,
I'll go Vikings.
Yeah, I guess. I'm going Browns. I'm gonna go Browns on that one. Their defense is just super good. Hopefully, they can get over there and get squared away and make it a competitive game. Last week's game with the Vikings and Steelers turned out to be a good game, 24-21. So. Not too bad, Aaron Rodgers. And how about the Steelers 3-1? That's kind of crazy. We didn't have that one.
Right.
The 1-2-1 Cowboys are at the 0-4 Jets. And I put that game on here because why not? Cowboys at Jets, 1 o'clock on Fox Sunday. Who do you like?
I'm gonna go Cowboys. The new coaching regime in New York looks completely. They look like they have no idea what they're doing. I'm going to go Cowboys on the road.
They just had another false start penalty, as we are on this call right here. But I'm going to take the Jets. I'm going to take the Jets. They'll be at home because the Cowboys are really good at home. We're going to see how they are on the road. And listen, I'm an AFC homer. I'm a Dolphins guy. We got our win last night. I just don't know that the Jets are going to do me any favors. No. So they'll mess around and win this game. So I'm going to take.
They probably will.
That's just how this works.
You picked them, so they will.
Well, that's just what it is. We will see. The 3-1 Bucks at the 3-1 Seahawks. That's probably one of the best games of the weekend. It's a 4:05 game on CBS. Tampa goes cross country to play Seattle, coming off of that Eagles loss at home on Sunday.
It won't go well for the Bucks. That's a tough place on a Sunday afternoon. And Seattle's starting to develop a little bit with their new head coach. You mentioned the Ravens' influence there. It's starting to show a little bit. Seattle.
And Sam Darnold can throw the football. We didn't talk about that Thursday night. But here we go.
Minnesota, great choice. Yeah.
Had it. Now, listen, Carson Wentz did a nice job on Sunday for the Vikings. He threw for 300. But you and I've said this before. To make stuff fit in salary caps and all, you're staring at a guy. You struggle all your life, all your GM and coaching career to get a quarterback. And you get one. You get the revitalization project. He was your Baker Mayfield. Basically, you had him. Get him and lock him up. But they went with the rookie, and who's now hurt. And now they got Carson Wentz. And I get it. But Sam Darnold is thrilled to be at Seattle, and they're thrilled to have him there. They're thrilled to have him there. And he's locked and loaded. I also would take the Seahawks. I just can't see the Bucs making that happen. And then, go ahead.
I was just say Darnold is just a classic case of it took a guy a little longer to mature into the role. And I'll give Sean Payton credit when he got to Denver. He really wanted Sam Darnold because he anticipated that trajectory. He tried like heck to get him, and Minnesota wouldn't budge. And then, by then they had drafted Nix. But I think that's what we're seeing with Darnold. I think he's going to get a big contract coming up, and he earned it. And I think he's going to be a solid top 10 quarterback going forward. I really do.
Well, let's think about who he went to. He was with the Jets. Jets.
Look at the teams.
It's not a quarterback development play. And then he was with the Panthers, I believe. With the Panthers. So what are we doing? Listen, it's so important to not just be talented, but to go to the right place that can cultivate you up. Weird off-subject analogy here. That's why Steph Curry going to the Warriors could not have been better They allowed him to be loose and play the way he did. They didn't want to restrict him. This is who he is. Let's coddle to it without confining ourselves. And so it's one of those things that's so perfect. You got to find the right fit. And Sam Darnold's good. And Seattle's going to be a problem. I can tell you that. They're going to be a problem. They're going to be heard from in this thing. And so last game, 2-2 Chiefs. Are they back? Are they more rejuvenated now? You had Xavier Worthy back. They are going to play the resurgent and all of a sudden exciting 3-1 Jacksonville Jaguars Monday Night Football. Rick, 8:15. Who do you like?
I don't know if the Jags are ready for that. I'll go with the Chiefs on the road. This is when they get a big road win that usually gets their season back on track. I hope I'm wrong, but I think Kansas City win.
I'm going to take the Jags. I'm going to say they can arrive at their. This is your chance, Jacksonville. You may not get more of these. This is your opportunity. You know, you got an angry coach who wants to fight everybody. Let's see if he fights Andy Reid this week. Maybe he just wants to fight. Just go get everybody. And I guess, you know what, Rick, you've been taking that L for so long. You've been taking that behind whipping. Maybe he's like, look, we're just not going to do that anymore. If I got to lead by saying we're going to fight anybody that comes our way, so be it. So we will see how it all goes. So, Rick, this week we had 2 games that we picked the same and 3 that were different. So
separation Sunday.
Could very well be. Could very well be. And so that's the 5 for this week, brother. And there we go.
And I got to get your take because if I don't ask, I mean, come on, you're a Dolphins lifer. I sent you this great pic from the mid-'60s. The Dolphins playing in Denver. The Broncos had their classic whites on with the orange pant, and the Dolphins had their aquamarine. And yet you show up last night wearing that atrocity of an all-black uniform. First of all, your thoughts?
I didn't hate him as much as you.
Ooh.
I didn't hate him as much as you. I'm probably well. First of all, tradition is. I was watching Penn State over the weekend. Penn State and Alabama. They don't play those games. They just are very. No. You're going to be if you're Penn State, you're going to know it. Its simplicity is its strength, and they're going to stay that way. They don't go throwbacks and all these other things. Other places can do it, and that's fine, well and good. But I didn't. Here's the thing. I didn't hate it like you, but you can't do anything for me except take me back to the 70s with the block numbers and the old logos. So I'm a traditionalist, and I'm still trying to find a deal on the old hoodies, on the hoodies that has the old logo.
Yeah, the old colors too. Yeah.
I used to draw that all the time, and so as a kid, so I didn't have the hate for those. There's some throwbacks that I despise when they wear. Like, I mean, the Bumblebee Steelers mess they used to throw on was atrocious. But Rick, I love the Patriots. They wear that red one, the old Boston Patriots.
Oh yeah, there's a throwback. Absolutely.
So that throwback actually is classic. Miami's wasn't a throwback. Miami's tried to be retro, which probably missed the mark on some level. Listen, it's over with now.
Let's hope it never happens again.
And let's get on back to what we do. And I can't wait till our throwback so we can because that way they'll have the merch online. So and do you like your retros of course you don't.
Oh yeah, they're the best uniform, the selling uniform they should wear.
You like the throwback.
They wore all blue last night. It was embarrassing how bad they looked last night. It was terrible.
You didn't like it when Elway and them changed in the 90s, that when they made that stretch when they changed to the Broncos uniforms.
The only reason it works is the year that they changed, they won the Super Bowl.
They won
the next Super Bowl.
That's right.
And then they kept them because they won back-to-back Super Bowls.
That's right. But when they go Orange Crush, everybody loves the Orange Crush.
Everybody loves it. They sell out.
Yeah, it's the best.
And then you go back to the horrible Nike design. So I don't know. But anyway. All right.
Well,
good stuff, my friend, as always. Good to have you. I don't like doing the program when you're not around. So you can't not be around anymore.
Sound like a plan to me. I'm gonna make it all work. I got to tell this thing called job. Listen, I got something to do.
I know.
You all figure the thing out. My God, appreciate you having me, bro.
All right, brother. Great stuff, man. I'm sure I'll talk to you this week.
You got it.
All right, there you go, David Smith. Joining us on the program. Good stuff from David. I want to thank our sponsors very quickly. Family Fencing, sponsoring our studios here in Reiner, 540-200-8294 at familyfencingnrv.com. Thanks to Jason Green and company. Give him a call today. Mark Hunley, McClellan Chiropractic. Thanks for him. He's got machinery, and they don't even have to jump on your back anymore and do it person to person. They just put you on a machine. It's wild, man. It's wild. Computers tell you how it's progressing. Thanks to Travis Williams, Professional Door Incorporated, residential, commercial, garage doors, family operated since 38 years. That's math. I'll just say 38 years. Anyway, right across from Community College in Dublin. Go see them. Thanks so much, National Bank. Larry Ramsey, member FDIC. 35 years. They're our exclusive banking partner. 35 years I've been with those folks. Great. Ryan Pry, the attorney, thanks to him. 701 West Main Street in Radford. Thanks to Charles Lee, Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg. See the trucks around all the time. And there's already been 3 of you that have hired him because you've watched this program. That's what it's all about. And each and every day we're brought to you by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. We're going to have Jonathan Sweet on this week, the director. And you don't want to miss that because you've got somebody who's infectious personality and dedicated and determined to make everything they're doing working up there. It's going to make Pulaski County the destination here regionally to have people come from all over the country and have their events. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And one more sponsor we want to talk about because she is responsible for our next guest joining us on the program because he is the venerable Mike Burnop in his 43rd year in the booth. And thanks to Louise Baker, team Long and Foster Realtors, 540-320-0382. Michael, good morning. How are you, brother? Good to see you.
I'm good, Rick. How about you?
Doing all right, man. Hey, we got good news, good stuff to talk about. How about that? How about those Hokies on Saturday night?
How about that? Stacking 2 wins together and going on the road in a most unlikely place, sold-out crowd, and a really good team with a great offense. And it was a night game, prime time, first ACC, first true road game. And the Hokies clawed and grinded their way and got a win. I mean, it was great. Every time it was like a back-and-forth game. That lead changed a bunch of times. It was like a basketball game. And every time that NC State answered, the Hokies came back and answered again. And John Love had those 3 field goals, which was really 4 after that penalty. He had to kick it again.
Yeah.
And, I thought Drones was solid. And, gosh, how about Terrion Stewart? Man, did he come out? Woo. That dude is he's like a bowling ball going down the lane, man. He was just bouncing off people and just first down after first down. Then he broke that big, huge run. I was so disappointed in him for he didn't score on that one, but gosh, got so close and set him up for the touchdown. And God, what a game he had.
The defense knew they had to stop the running game in Hollywood. They knew that. And boy, the fact they held them to below 3 yards per carry, I think that was the key of the football game. They were terrific. Sam Sifkas had those guys ready.
He did. And I mean, Hollywood Smothers getting 67 yards. That guy had 3 100-yard games in a row.
Right.
Yeah. And he had averaged 144, I think, in the ACC games. So he was a handful. And you could just kind of see every time he touched the ball, if you didn't get him on the ground, man, he was just fighting for extra yards and got a lot of yards after contact. But they corralled him and gang tackled him and kind of smothered him, got him on the ground. And that was the real key to the game, just stopping that run, making Bailey, have to sit back there and throw it. And he got sacked 5 times.
Right.
So that was another big part of it when that defensive line kept coming after him. And Sam, I thought he did a great job disguising coverages in the secondary and giving Bailey some different looks, where the safety's coming from and all those sorts of things. And, when you get the quarterback's eyes kind of confused and you got those linemen coming at you, the decisions got to be made a little bit quicker. And I thought they did a really good job with that.
And you mentioned John Love. I mean, he's the special teams player of the week at the ACC. I think you just put that in there for every week. I mean, it's been a long time, but this guy he's the most automatic kicker in the country, it seems like, when he's out there. His development has been amazing. It really has. Yeah,
he's just got such a strong leg. He takes it seriously. And, the only one he missed was that 59-yarder before the half at Wofford. And so, yeah, he's if he hadn't missed that one, he would be leading the country. I mean, the guy's just – you can count on him. He's like money in the bank. And, you hate to score for field goals when you get especially down the red zone. But, gosh, when you got somebody like him you can depend on, that is such a luxury. And NC State had trouble, doing that. And I kept thinking, man, if they go on the field here, is their kicker going to be able to make it, whatever they use, because they had used 2 different kickers. And I think the long was 38 yards. So they're going to have to get pretty far down there on that last drive, which is why I think he punted it. As opposed to listening to Kyron Drones, he wanted to go for it and try to end the game. That was kind of cool. Let the defense win it. Like that's the way it used to be.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of an old type of Virginia Tech team going down there and winning that game. Absolutely. Mike Burnop joining us on the program. I want to thank Louise Baker, the Louise Baker team, Long and Foster Realtors. Give her a call today, 540-320-0382, the absolute best in the business. Mike, I can't even properly orate how impressed I am with Philip Montgomery and the way he's, first of all, kept things focused, kept things organized. 2-0 aside, which is great, but those guys, when they knocked down that fourth down pass, you saw a genuine enthusiasm and everybody exploding off the sideline, the guys off the field. That's a team now together. And for whatever the reasons are, maybe they know who's for them and who's against them, but that team went on the road, circled the wagons, and they are together. I think what Philip Montgomery has done in a short amount of time is nothing short of a miracle.
Yeah, he had his hands full, no doubt about it, especially with some of the stuff that happened, last week in addition to the first week, which was insanely crazy. Even last week with some other guys opting out and still dealing with this guy and that guy and injuries and transfer portal and, are they going to redshirt or not? And, playing 5 true freshmen on defense the other night. I mean, that's just crazy to think of how good those guys were ready to go. But that's the thing, Rick. I mean, you want the guys that, I was never in the military, but if you're in a foxhole, man, you want guys that are there that you can trust and count on. And
right.
I think right now he's got the guys on that team that want to be there. They're 100% vested. They're not 50, 60% into it. They want to be there. And I think they've responded to him. And he's been a great leader. And I think it's been fantastic just to watch it go. And I just hope he keeps stacking win after win after win. That would be fantastic because he's such a good guy and he's done such a fantastic job just keeping this thing together.
And I think about something I think you told us a couple of weeks ago. Was it Kevin Gilliam who just said, look, if you don't want to be here, there's the door. We don't want you here. And I wonder how much that has resonated because he's a lead. Guys really, really take to that, don't they, when a leader stands up like that in the clubhouse?
Yeah, he's one of the guys, one of the captains, one of the big voices in the locker room, so to speak. And, when he opened up the door to the Merriman Center and said, if you don't want to be here, get out. And when KG speaks, man, you listen. And so I think a lot of those guys did. And it wasn't just him. It was, Kamari Copeland and Gosnell, some of the other leaders and the leadership council, the captains. Hey, if you don't want to be here, if there's any doubt that you don't want to be here or you don't want to play, just get out because one apple spoils the bunch. And I think right now he's got those guys he wants. Hopefully that'll be the case. That was a hard win going on the road there in a sellout crowd. They've sold out that's the best atmosphere in the ACC in North Carolina for sure.
Yes.
Because they sell out just about every game. I mean, they've sold out every game since 2016 or something like that, something crazy. And a night game, a road game on the road, and that was fantastic just to be able to hang in there, keep it close, and get the win in the fourth and let the defense seal the deal.
I've heard from a lot of Tech fans, Mike, who went. They feel like that's probably the most opposing place that's comparable to Lane Stadium, just in terms of the fan support. They were all mentioning how impressed they were, and they were talking about how it kind of felt like Lane Stadium a little bit.
Yeah, it does, and it kind of looks a little bit, like it in terms of how close it is to the field. The fans are up with students, and the fans are right up on top of you, and it does get really loud there. I mean, they do a nice job with their atmosphere and music and whatnot, and I thought it was great to be able to just go down there and just play as good as they did. And again, being able to shut down Smothers, that was just absolutely huge in the game. And C.J. Bailey, he makes plays with his arms and his feet. But they did a great job on him, containing him and getting those 5 sacks. And, I thought Kyron threw the ball. How about the couple plays Kyron made, backtracking, running for his life? You get Gosnell on that one. And
that one, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. You talk about big plays in the game on third downs. Those are absolutely huge. So I see him, his confidence level is up. Bill and I were coming out of the Merriman Center last week. I think it was Thursday. And we saw Kyron coming in. And we just sat there and talked to him for about 5-10 minutes. And he was just having a good time. He had a smile on his face. He was confident. He was loose. He loves Monty. He loves what they're all about. And he went out and performed Saturday against NC State and had a great time. And so I think his confidence level's up, and hopefully he can continue to build on that and get ready for this week against Wake Forest.
Mike Burnop joining us on the program. Brought to you by Louise Baker, the Louise Baker team, Long and Foster Realtors. You mentioned it, Mike, before we get into Wake. A lot of people are asking me to ask you about this timeline. More players are going to be, I guess, leaving. Are they waiting to get that? I mean, how's this going to look, do you think, in the next 24 hours or so?
You never know. I mean, that portal's open till October 14th, I think. So, you still got 2 weeks left that and opt out and whatnot. So we'll have to see. I think those conversations are still ongoing. Those agents are in these players, some of the players' ears, and they're listening to that and trying to evaluate that. But the good thing about Monty and those guys are they're trying to educate the players to say, look, this is what it is. This is what it's all about, and educate them, give them the best advice that they can, and they'll let the kid and their family make the decision. But I think they've done a good job in that regard of being that way. And so, we'll see what happens in the next week or so. I mean, there'll probably be some more out. I'm not so sure if it'll be more guys that have been playing as opposed to some of the young ones. But we'll have to just wait and see. I mean, you hope that they keep it together and the key guys are still around. I mean, you saw what happened last week with, Holloway had opted out, and then we didn't field a couple punts, and it gave up some valuable yardage when they didn't field those things. That was kind of a bad thing, although it worked out okay on that one that rolled down to the 11-yard line. And then Darion Stewart took it for 85, right?
Yeah. Let's go pick it up. Let's go. Try to tackle me. Yeah.
Give me some more field there, bro.
He just needed a running start. That's all.
I'll tell you the other thing that was impressive too, Rick. When you look at it, I was looking at this thing before the games this past weekend. The rest of the games left, those 8 teams that the Hokies had to play. You know what the combined record of those teams were?
What was something gaudy? I know that
26-5.
Wow!
And I was sitting there thinking, the Hokies they might be favored in one game the rest of the way. When you looked at that, they weren't favored at NC State, and I think they are this week because of that win there. And Wake got shafted in that game last week.
Yeah, they got.
I'm telling you, on that call they didn't make on that 3rd down and 5 when the kid was jumped off sides and was clearly offside. He was almost in the backfield.
I know.
How does a line judge miss that? And then they put out a statement Sunday. Oh, yeah, they missed the call. Well, suspend them. Make them pay for their mistake.
Exactly.
That cost Wake Forest the game. It's 3rd and 5. Georgia Tech had no timeouts. They could have run the clock out. That game is over. So Wake would have had the win. Georgia Tech would have had the loss. I mean, that's the stuff that gets people fired, and you lose your job over stuff like that, and somebody needs to be held accountable for that.
100% accountability. Where is it? It's incredible. Anyway,
that's another day.
Another day. All right. So Wake Forest comes in, their first road game. They played the first month all at home, and now they're going to come into Blacksburg. It's going to be raucous. Probably a sellout, right? They'll announce it, I'm sure. Crowd's going to be behind them once again. Going to be a tough task, I think, for Wake coming in there against now all of a sudden a team that's building some momentum a little bit.
Yeah, they're banged up a little bit from that game, too. I think their quarterback got banged up a little bit, and their running back, Claiborne, I think, got hurt a little bit there at the end of the game with shoulder or something. So, I'm not sure what kind of shape they're going to be in. But, it's a first road game, and, it's good for the Hokies to have them coming in here. It's homecoming. It's the Orange Effect, and I think it should be a great crowd. It's not sold out yet. Maybe it will be, hopefully. But it should be a great atmosphere, especially after the win last week, because you're sitting there thinking, if you lose this game and the Hokies have already lost 2 at home, that crowd could be low. But homecoming will bring them back. It's a lot of times it's the only game that some people can come back for, and they kind of make it their point to, hey, we got to go for homecoming. And being a 1:00 game, I think that's great for the crowd, and gets people that want to come and go go down for the game and go back home can do that. Especially guys and girls with young kids, maybe. But that's the one game they circle. So homecoming's always fun, and should be a really good crowd.
Mike, you've gotten to know Philip Montgomery pretty well. I mean, now all of a sudden he's playing as a favorite at home, and they've got a little bit of momentum. How do you think he addresses that with the team? I mean, where they're coming out of and what they've gone, and they've had success, but most coaches will tell you if you come back home after a big road win and you lose that game, it kind of cancels out the road game, right, that you won. So I'm sure he's going to remind those guys, try to be as positive about the momentum, but remind them, hey, just go in here and treat this game like we did last week.
Yeah, and let's protect our home house. They haven't been able to do that this year, except for Wofford. I mean, you lose 2 home games. That's just crucial. It used to be the house of terrors. You got to get that back, Rick. I mean, it's that should be counted on that, hey, you don't lose a home game. And so I think Wake Forest, when you look down at the schedule, the rest of the way, they got a first-year coach. He's doing a really good job. He's got those guys fired up. He's a motivational guy and a fiery guy. and he's had them playing really, really well. They got some really good players, but you don't know what their attitude's going to be like. A road game too. They got some guys banged up, so they're going to have to rally their troops as well. And you don't want that game last week to beat you twice. That could have been part of NC State's problem. That.
Yeah.
I mean, the Hokies played great. I'm not taking anything away from them, but their defensive coordinator was not there for the game because their daughter had died. I mean, you talk about tragedy now.
Unbelievable.
That's just awful to hear that. She's 17, 18 years old and had a 5-year battle with cancer. And, we gave her a shout out, gave him the family shout out on the radio. And I know Monty did after the game too.
Good.
Those are tough circumstances to overcome. And, that's one of those things that sometimes the game is, not quite important as the other stuff is. But I know they'll be excited for this weekend and ready to rock and roll. And should be fun. I'm looking forward to the atmosphere.
Mike, I always like to jump around the league here. And don't forget, Mike Burnop's brought to you each week by that young lady, Louise Baker, the Louise Baker team, Logan Foster Realtors. Saw she had a great month the last month of September. Not surprised. Are you surprised to hear that Louise Baker saying she had a great month? Come on.
Heck no, man. Those interest rates started to come down, and I know she's excited about that. And the inventory is out there, and she'll be rocking and rolling here because apparently they're going to drop them another time or two before the end of the year. So
Yep.
Louise is going to be busy. If you got any kind of needs at all, call Louise. She will hook you up. She knows all the ins and outs and the scoops and the locations and the schools and everything. So, yeah, she's the best. Give her a call for sure.
And she cares about people, too. Yeah,
Great hope,
absolutely.
Too.
Yeah, absolutely. She cares about everybody she works with. That's the thing about it. It's genuine. Virginia. Let's talk about Virginia Friday night against Florida State. I know you're watching. Pretty impressive, wasn't it, what they were able to pull off? And maybe the way they won it, having to go double OT, maybe that made it a little more impressive. That showed a lot of heart.
Yeah, it did. I wasn't sure. Did you think that guy made that catch? Deuce Robinson made that catch at the end?
I wasn't sure. TBD, but I guess, yeah.
It's kind of like the Miami game. It was called touchdown on the field for us last year, and then it's overruled. But, that was really, really a close call. And, that's the way it ended. But I was shocked that there weren't more people there. The crowd was not in the upper decks. It was kind of scarce. And I know there are a lot of people on the bank. But if you can't fill it up for a game like that, that's a little bit disappointing, I think. But, yeah, it was a great win for them. Chandler Morris is good. Running back's good. They got some players now. Their defense, both defenses didn't play like they should. They gave up a lot of points. But, yeah, they got a talented offense. And to overcome all the interceptions, both teams. I mean, I think Castellanos had 2 interceptions. Chandler Morris had 3, I think.
Yeah.
My goodness, to be able to overcome that and get a win, that was big time. Now they got ranked again, and so we'll see how they play the rest of the way. I think they got Louisville this week, which should be a pretty good handful.
Yeah, it was one of those things, a great night for UVA, but a really bad night for the ACC. That Florida State, who was starting to look like they were going to be around for maybe a potential playoff, and they still could, but sure, maybe they weren't very happy down there in the conference offices because now it's, Miami and everybody else trying to maybe Georgia Tech, but they didn't look good either on Saturday. So.
They didn't look good, but they got that win, didn't they?
They did. They were able to pull it out. They got a little help, but they were able to get it done. Yeah. And you mentioned Louisville. I think Louisville fell down by like 17 early. And, it says a lot when you're on the road like that in a conference. Mike, toughest thing to do is win conference road games like Tech did. And when you're down like that, you still find a way to win it. Brom is a really good coach.
He's a good coach. And 17 down early that is hard to overcome. The Hokies found themselves in that spot a couple times last couple of years and couldn't pull back and get it. You get close, but, man, that is a big hole to dig out of. And so, yeah, good for them. They got a good team, and it's going to be fun to watch. And, of course, Georgia Tech, the Hokies got to go play them here in a couple of weeks. And they got an open date this week, so they got a chance to get healthy before the Hokies come to town for that 3:30 game. Kind of disappointed that was on the ACC network, too. I thought maybe that had been drawing a bigger crowd or a better audience.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows?
I feel like Duke. Now, I know Syracuse didn't have the quarterback, but I did watch a lot of that Duke game. I still feel like Duke's going to be hurt.
Yeah, I think so. Manny's got them playing well, and they got some really good players, good offense. And, I think that Illinois game kind of woke them up a little bit early in the season. But I think for sure that they got a nice team. And yeah, Syracuse didn't have their quarterback, but they dominated that thing start to finish. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Syracuse rebounds after that, and see what Clemson does here moving forward too.
No.
Those natives down there, those Tiger fans are getting restless.
That seems like the pivotal game for them, going down there. Carolina coming off a bye week. Team hasn't been very good against light competition. And I don't know. Last time we saw Dabo, he looked like to me he just lost a long-lost best friend, his puppy, everything together at once. I don't know. We'll see how they handle coming off their bye week. But it's a huge week for them.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, yeah, that pressure is getting a little bit more and more, and the seats getting a little hotter. And I mean, he's done a great job down there overall, but the hype around this year going into the season that they were going to be one of the best teams and their quarterback might win the Heisman Trophy and all that, that hadn't happened. I mean, they have looked pedestrian at best. And so, yeah, yabba dabba do, you better get them going.
And of course, we experienced it here, but, Sam Pittman gets fired one game. They put everything into that Notre Dame game, and then they go out and lay an egg. People were leaving about 5 minutes in the first half. You knew we're seeing more of that already. It's 4 firings. We had an opening already. Stanford didn't hire a coach, right? Frank Reich's helping out his buddy, Andrew Luck, for a year. But, I mean, we're going to see more of this, I think, on a week-to-week basis. It feels like that's going to happen now. That shows you the pressure and how huge it is now to win and to win now.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, everybody's impatient. They want you to win now for sure. And how about the shocker of like Petrino back at Louisville? Now the interim head coach. Get the motorcycle warmed up, bro.
Yeah.
I'm back in business.
I'm back in town, baby.
And he wants the job permanently. How about that? I mean,
he fired everybody. He fired everybody yesterday.
Oh my gosh! I mean, that was just insane what happened, and just to go down there and after he left the thing in shambles the first time and goes to the Falcons and leaves notes in the locker. I mean, these guys are like they got 9 lives. They're like the biggest cast ever.
I know. Which
you
is
can't make
why
it up, Rick. You can't make it up.
I know. Which is why I'm on the Philip Montgomery bandwagon now. He may make this an easy decision for the people in Blacksburg. Just saying.
That'd be awesome. I mean, I'd love it. They had a bunch of those donors down at the NC State game, and they were all talking after the game. We went back to the hotel, and they were all there in the bar having some drinks. And, yeah, they were all fired up about him. I mean, he's done a great job, and he's just a good person. And, he deserves it, and he's done a great job, and hopefully he'll stack another win up and write another good chapter in that book this week.
Yeah, pretty soon if this continues, people won't be able to ignore that fact anymore, that you may just have that guy. Just saying. Already there.
That could be. Make that search easy.
That make it very easy. Well, listen, brother, great stuff as always. Have a great call this weekend. I know you will. And you love the 1 o'clock start time. I know that. So
yeah, it'll be fun. These night games get a little bit old. So yeah, this 1 o'clock will be good, and 3:30 the next week. So that'll be kind of nice. But yeah, it's going to be fun. And homecoming's always special when you see all those guys come back. I hope it'd be some nice alumni and some players come back. And I love it when the band, all those guys who used to play in the band, come down. They got their leather sweaters on and their instruments
cool.
they played back in the day. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a good time.
That will be fun. All right, man. Looking forward to get your reaction next week, and I think we're going to be talking about a 3rd straight win. I really do. We'll see.
Hope so. Yeah, I hope so, Rick. Good to be with you, and thanks to Louise, and we'll see you next week.
All right, brother. Take care and stay safe, man.
Okay.
Thank you. There you go. Mike Burnop. Great stuff as always. Yes, and thanks to Louise Baker, the Louise Baker team, Long and Foster Realtors, 540-320-0382, nrvhomes.com. Again, with all these great people we have supporting the program, sponsoring us, I can give endorsements about them all, but I can really give you a personal endorsement about Louise. She got me and my brother through a very difficult time with my mom when she passed and her property, and always kept us calm and at ease, and kept us she cares about all of her clients more than just beyond making a sale or making a profit. She cares, and she'll invest her time into your life, and that's who you need to call. So go see Louise. Thank you, Louise. And good stuff here today. We want to thank all of our guests here today. As always, thanks to Marva in Miami. Thank you to Brian Seagler, David Smith, and Mike Burnop. Tomorrow, I know Damian Sordelette will be here, David Teal, Brian Steinspring's going to join us once again. He reached out, and yeah, of course we're going to throw you on, Coach. I meant to bring up with Mike. We had Phil Amazian on yesterday. I need to talk to him about that. I'll talk to Mike about that next week. Phil Amazian was outstanding yesterday. He's going to be a regular part of the program going forward. But good stuff tomorrow here on the show as well. As always, thanks to everybody who supports the program. I'm blown away at our metrics after this is our 6th week. I get reports all the time from YouTube. They keep track of live programming. They want it to succeed, or they don't want you on their outlet. So we're succeeding. So thank you. Again, please like and subscribe. Again, of all of our going on 600 subscribers, which blows my mind already, if you just get one person you know to subscribe, remind him it's free, we'll be at 1,000. And once you're at 1,000, you got about a 3-year window here to make this thing grow. So please help us out in that regard as well, each and every week, because it's important, you know. And everybody who's going back and watching the content, many of you have been telling me that, which is great. And that's exactly what they want to hear at YouTube. They want to hear that people are going back and watching the stuff that's posted on the channel. And people are telling me that they're going back throughout the day, in the evening, and at night. If you miss Mike Burnop in the morning, you can go back and see him in the evening. You know, it's always there. The content's there. And that's what's a big advantage for sponsors too. You got all those rewatches just ready to go, you know, and it's great. It's great. So thank you to that. People who are going back and watching are averaging over 2 hours and 15 minutes of watch time. I mean, they have the algorithm down to every little detail about if you're succeeding. And we've already reached nearly the numbers, 6,000 unique viewers and things like that. It's just crazy. But thank you again for making the show what it hopefully will become and continue to grow into, because I had a lot of hesitation going to this format. Didn't know a lot about it. Still don't know a lot about it, but it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. So thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you very much, Wayne. Appreciate that. Really good coaches we have. Yeah, we've got great people on the show. I mean, there's certain people I would never want to do the show without. Mike Burnup's one of those. Like, Mike and I have been doing this show. He came on back in the 2000s when we started this thing. He and Bill Bowe. Certain people that you just would not imagine just having the show and not having them on. And so they make this thing special. And I think the visual part of it is playing a lot into it from what I hear. People love to see the conversations as well as hear them. So yeah, I get it. I get why I get why YouTube's now the #1 platform in the world. I get it. I understand it now. And most of the stuff that I watch is YouTube. My TV's through YouTube. I'll go back and watch videos, shows like this, other regions, things like that. I learn every day and see how they do it, because I don't know everything. Hell, I just come on and do the best I can. So, but thank you for making us a success so far here as we've rebooted things. Again, tomorrow, Hump Day Wednesday, big show lined up. And I hope we made your morning a little bit better. And you make mine better each and every day. Everybody who joins us in the chat, we get dozens and dozens of comments throughout the day on the professional door text line. I mean, I love it when I'm getting texts when I'm not on. People just texting me about sports, about games. Zach, thank you. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to all of our sponsors. And again, all of our guests today. We'll see you tomorrow. We're loaded for bear again on Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and we will see you in the morning. So long, everybody.